Oh my God. I did not make that intro. How's it going, movie fans? My name is Jonathan. I am a man of movies, and I am so excited to be with you here today on a Friday night. This is the home of shooting the shit on Friday nights. I am so excited to be here. But guys, let me not just get ahead of myself. Let me bring on my main man, Dan here. Dan, what is up, my friend? How has your Friday been treating you?
So good. It was supposed to be a snowstorm here. It wasn't that bad here. It was kind of bad, but I just got to stay home and nice and warm and comfy.
I heard about the snowstorm over there in Buffalo, and I'm happy that it's not as serious as they've been saying, and that we can come here, shoot the shit, talk a little bit of movies and all that type of stuff. But
very excited.
Excited to talk movies, to comment on some serious issues, but of course make a little bit of light of them because we're the cinema squad after all, and we shoot the shit and we drink some beers, and that hurt a little. But I don't want to cheers just yet. Listen, because we got a special guest here today, guys. A special guest that we've been on his channel. We've shot the shit with him, and I think we owe him. It is an honor to introduce to everybody watching the man, the myth, but most importantly, the legend, Patrick from Have Cheetah Will View. Woo!
All right. Let's get this cracking.
What is up, Patrick? How's your Friday been treating you, my man?
It is cold here today. Cold, 28 degrees. But you know what? Better than Buffalo, right?
Believe it or not, this morning in Florida, it was 48 degrees this morning.
Did
not
you guys?
Anymore.
Was that a state of emergency from Florida?
Yeah, state of emergency. Everybody went up to Georgia. That's how we always do it. Patrick, any drink of choice?
Yes, we are drinking peach iced tea.
Ooh, peach iced tea. You can never go wrong with some peach iced tea. I love some peach iced tea. Patrick, I will cheers to that. I have a blue moon here.
All right. Cheers. Dan, what are you drinking?
I didn't get one. I didn't get anything.
He's drinking his despairs, his wallows.
Tears.
His own tears. Well, guys, we got some people here today watching us. We got The View with Drew. He's saying, hey, what is up, Drew?
Hey, Drew.
Always happy to see you here. We got Eric here. Eric, you did write some stuff. We'll get to it, but just want to say hello to you, my friend. Happy that you're here. Nassim. What is up, Nassim? Nassim is Jace's girlfriend.
Hey, Nassim.
We got Shawn in the chat, even though he's not with us.
Hey, what's up, John?
He must be jealous. We got Interweb Kaiju here, Boglins. Let's see. Anybody here that we should say hi to? Oh, we got Hobbs Horror here. Bacardi 151 straight, no chasers. I need my chasers, Hobbs Horror. I'm sorry, I'm a wimp. I need chasers.
Well, if he's drinking Bacardi 151 straight, there might be a good chance we might get a sequel to Ironboard Dancing.
All right, so let me take that off real quick because I got to introduce somebody else, guys. I am just as honored to have this man on. Ladies and gentlemen, from across the pond, we got Mr. Geeky Hijinks himself, Joe.
Hi, everyone.
Joe.
Hi, Patrick. Hi, guys. How's it going?
Greetings.
I love your 8K setup.
Thank you. I knew Patrick was going to be here, so I had to up my game, you know. I thought, cheers, Nick, son. Hey, Patrick. Nice to speak to you.
How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing good, thank you. I've got my cup of tea. I had a can of Red Bull, so I've got to balance it all out.
Joe, I'm loving the setup. I feel like you're gonna lull me to sleep with some ASMR chewing and drinking and
I put the lime in the coconut to take the
Yeah.
gold on to put the.
What are you drinking today, Joe? What are you drinking today?
Honestly, because I'm off alcohol until Christmas, I've just got my cup of tea and Evian water, sponsored by
Okay.
Nestle. I'm loving the background, by the way. That's a lot of cats.
It's a lot of
Yes,
cats. Yeah.
I saw that. That background is epic.
These
That's the best I've ever seen.
These are the cats that Patrick let me borrow.
And Dan's either in a dojo or a really Japanese dressing room.
Guys, we do have some questions from the viewers here. I did leave a little pin for them that we may not get to all the questions because, guys, because Patrick is here, I want to do a little bit of a hybrid show today, right? We are shooting the shit. We're shooting the shit and always will be, but we're going to do a little hybrid show today because, Patrick, for once, you will be in the hot seat with 7 questions for Patrick.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Are you ready?
So we're going to go on this journey, one question at a time. And of course, we'll get to the viewers' questions. But let's start out with a question that we have for you, Patrick.
Oh, my.
So let's start with this. And we can all answer this, of course. We can all answer this. Patrick, what were some of the earliest films that you fell in love with?
Oh, wow. Some of the earliest films I fell in love with.
Yeah.
I think the first movie that really just got me as a moviegoer fan. Gosh, I definitely say The Sands of Iwo Jima with John Wayne and John Agar.
Oh, wow.
That was really, I saw that when I was young and made a really impression on me. Another movie that came out that eventually it came back later on in my life, but I remember watching it and remember being so just taken by it, was this beautiful film called Promises in the Dark with Marsha Mason and Kathleen Beller. It's a beautiful film. Let's see, some of the other ones that I just fell in love with. There's another one, I would say, one about this young man. The movie's called The Dove, and it's about this young man who set to sail around the world by himself, and it starred Timothy Bottoms. So that was my early days of watching movies.
Okay.
Tonight's going to be an education, isn't it? With films we need to either watch or maybe
No, absolutely. I mean, that's a great thing about having Patrick on here. He's going to tell us films that either we've never seen or we should see for sure. Now, Patrick, what was it about those films for you though that you think like hit you in such a way that made you fall in love with them though? Like what was it about them that impacted you?
Well, I remember for Sands of Iwo Jima, it was based on based in World War II. Starred John Wayne and John Agar, and of course the Iwo Jima. I was a history buff, still am. So watching World War II movies is always important. Always enjoyed it. But when I first time I saw Sands of Iwo Jima, I just thought it was just so good. John Wayne is one of his very, very best roles. And it's one of those movies actually that does not, when you rewatch it, it does not come across as World War II propaganda films like a lot of films are.
Yeah.
I can rewatch them. There's some movies that were like that, designed to get the people riled up, but this was just a straight out historical movie, much like Saving Private Ryan in today's term. Promises in the Dark. It was about a 17-year-old high school girl who she gets cancer, and you see the relationship between her and her doctor, with Marsha Mason, and how toward the end the girl does not want to. She wants to go. She doesn't want to be on a machine, and she begs her doctor not to let her do that, and her parents are in denial. So they clash. What's best for the patient. It's your daughter here and her patient here, and so the ending is really it's just really powerful ending.
Wow,
And
these
I
films
promised
that
myself I wasn't gonna cry.
yeah, I and the dub was just that's a he's a young man, he's trying to discover himself, and he's sailing his sailboat around the world, and it was a really good coming of age movie. Doesn't never really ever talks about it either. I've never heard anybody talk about it, but it's a beautiful film as well.
Patrick over here bringing these films for some great reasons. I'm here about to say like Toy Story because it was
Yeah.
fun, and
Short
Patrick's like,
circuit. Yeah.
this one taught me how to be a man, Jonathan.
But John, you're like, but I'm a real boy. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Great answers.
I as I got older, man, there's a lot of movies you like, you always like on the surface, right? But how many actually make that connection with your heart?
100%.
And so, that's the difference between movies that you really are important and movies that you like. What was that again? Do I remember seeing that? Because they didn't stick with you.
Yeah. Great answers here. Joe, do you have one that you remember, an early memory of a film that?
Yeah, like
fell
I've
in
got
love with?
loads, but I remember once playing with my toys and then getting distracted by a scene on a film, and it was the Dagobah scene with Luke Skywalker
Yoda.
and Yoda, and I
Yeah.
just dropped my toys and literally just got soaked into watching it. So that was like my first like time where normally if someone puts a film on for you, but this was the first time where I like, but my imagination was intrigued as to what I was seeing on the screen because I've never seen it before. And
Mhm.
that got loads, but that's one that always sticks out in my mind.
Oh wow, Empire Strikes Back. Good one.
Yeah.
And also it taught me to be a man as well. And just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Dan, what about you, my friend?
Just so many. E.T. was a big one. Actually, Jurassic Park I didn't like really start loving until recently. Recently-ish. I've always loved it, but like E.T. though, since I was a kid, I always remembered it, and like it's one of the reasons I became like in love with Steven Spielberg because of his sense of wonder and childlike wonderment, and it just it taught me to be creative. I think not just that, but like I just wanted to make movies about something.
Okay. Yeah, I actually relate with you a little bit when you talk about like that childlike wonder with mine. Because even though I joked about it a second ago, it's always been Toy Story since I was a boy. I've loved Toy Story, and growing up, and it's still Toy Story. And as a kid, I saw it in one way as like this very fun, energetic, childlike type of film. And as an adult, I see it so differently now. There's that scene toward the end of the film where Sid is about to blow up Buzz with the rocket, but it starts to rain. So he goes to sleep. We'll do it the next day. And they have that heart to heart with Woody and Buzz, where Buzz is like, what's the point? Like, I'm insignificant. And Woody's telling him that you're not insignificant. You're a toy. Like, how dare you even say you're insignificant? There's a kid in that house next to us that loves you. Not because you're a space ranger, because you're his toy. Oh man, it's like to know that I thought I was this, and if I'm not this, what am I? So you can be whatever you want to be. You'll have purpose either way.
It's like you could be a dustbin man or a fireman. Like there's someone at home that loves you, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
so I love it. Great answers. I love it.
So wise, John.
And it also taught me how to be a man.
and Dan's like, I learned how to be a dinosaur, guys. I ate my neighbor's dog.
All right, guys, let's get through some viewer comments. One of the first ones we got was from Eric, and he was talking about he wanted to ask us about our thoughts on Kevin Conroy's passing, and it really hit him how much of a legacy he's had just from playing Batman. Also cool to me that in his final performance as a character, he got to interact with a character from my other favorite IP besides Batman, Arya from Game of Thrones in Multiverses. That's a game. The lines between her and Batman are the best thing in that game. So to answer him, our thoughts on his passing, I'll start first because mine will be short. I think it's sad. I know the legacy he had. I know the impact that he left within the character that is Batman. The thing is, like, I never was like the biggest Batman fan as is. Not that I don't like Batman. I really do. I really like Batman, but I was never really into that. So I never grew up on Kevin Conroy, believe it or not. So it's sad. I know that legacy is hitting people on another level, but yeah, I just never really interacted with him the way other people do. What about you, Patrick?
Yeah, I was actually, I knew Kevin Conroy early on, the voice and the animated series and whatnot. But it didn't really seem I knew the man at all until I saw an interview that he did. He did an in-depth interview, and he talked about his childhood, and that childhood must have been hell. It was not a pleasant memory for him, and he was talking about it, because he had a lot of struggles with his dad and whatnot. And I didn't know this until like after he had passed away, because it just never occurred to me. But he was openly gay, and
Really?
yeah, I didn't know that either.
I never knew this.
I was like, and once that came out, all of a sudden it's just like, okay, now I can understand why he had probably a lot of hard times at home. But he was a very good actor. I mean, he honestly, I mean, he's a Batman for a lot of people. And yeah, it's a terrible loss. He was only 66.
I know.
I mean, and so it's a terrible loss. And but his legacy is immortal.
I heard on a podcast that he didn't originally want the role of Batman when he auditioned for it. He wanted to be Gordon because he thought that was more of the character role coming from a theater background, and that's the role that he wanted. And I mean, look at him now. He got Batman, and his life changed forever.
And he was a fine actor, out in front of the camera as well. I mean, you have to go look for some of his performances in front of the camera. But it's funny because I did a few years ago. I did a review of Spencer for Hire, and in one of the episodes, Kevin Conroy was the main bad guy for the episode, and here he was in Spencer. So, and he was pretty good too, really good actually.
Wow, Joe, have you? I was going to ask you, Joe, have you seen him in anything live action wise?
No.
He actually played Bruce Wayne in one of those CW shows.
Yeah, the CW the crossover things. But
yeah,
I never knew he actually done anything. Obviously he must have done some bit parts early on in his career, like on cable television stuff. But yeah, like the only thing I don't like about him is I wish he looked like Ben Affleck, so you could have his voice and Ben Affleck's body, and then I'd got the best Batman of all time.
Oh.
But yeah, like I grew up with Kevin Conroy, like Batman the animated series, then Justice League Unlimited. One of the best Batman films ever made is Mask of Phantasm, which if no one's watched it, check it out. It's one of the best Batman stories, which should be adapted into a film. And I've watched him and played all the games, all the Arkham games, and I think like Patrick said, the legacy he leaves behind is every game cartoon, people will be copying his voice. Like his voice is immortal, so people will be trying to emulate that forever now, because that is Batman.
Dan, your first review ever, I think, was Batman Begins. How do you feel about this?
So I know that my first review was that, but John, I'm like the same. I'm the same with you. Okay. I understand his legacy. I didn't know him from much. I probably watched Batman the animated series when I was young. I mean, I did. I know I did. But it's sad. It's just, but it was like, I don't want to say it cool. Not cool.
You weren't really exposed to him as much, and it's honestly not even an age thing here, because I have a little brother that grew up watching Mask of the Phantasm, and we had like that on VHS and all that, and he would watch that. I remember when he died, he told me, he's, "Oh my God, blah blah blah," and it hit him more than it hit me, just because I just wasn't like as engaged in that world as everybody was. But
yeah,
it's just luck and timing, really, isn't it? That's what you grew up with.
Yeah,
like I got lucky, so I just got the beginning of it.
Yeah,
beautifully said.
Moving on to Drew, he's saying, I have excellent news to share. I saw Don't Worry, Darling, Top Gun, and Top Gun Maverick. Recently, Top Gun Maverick is the best movie of the year. The first Top Gun is classic. Patrick, have you seen any of these? I'm sure Top Gun for sure.
I saw Top Gun at the theater, and it was a hell of a movie.
Yeah.
That was a fun movie to watch. That was a real fun movie to watch.
Have
Is
you
that
seen
the first
Maverick?
one?
I have not seen Maverick, but I am hoping to see a copy or two drop relatively soon at the library. So
Nice.
I will get my copy there.
Yeah.
Is there a reading version of Maverick? Wow. Imagine how exciting it must be when you watch it.
No, the library has like DVDs and stuff.
Oh, I didn't actually know that.
They drop a
Sick
relatively
bonus.
new titles, and I get them for as little as 25 cents. So
Oh, nice.
that's my cup
all right.
of tea.
Is that Patrick Charm? You go, hello girls, got Maverick inside.
Sure.
Here you are, Patrick.
Do you want to see my pussycat?
Make love to us, Patrick, please.
You want to see the cheetah?
Hey.
I will for a copy of Top Gun Maverick.
There we go.
Patrick, I have a hard time thinking you're not gonna like
I know.
Top
it's
Gun
so good.
Maverick. If you
Oh,
think
I'm sure
Top
I
Gun
love
was
it.
great, I think Top Gun Maverick is.
It's-
I like Top Gun Maverick. I like the first Top Gun. Top Gun Maverick exceeds that tenfold.
It might be the best. It might actually be the best film of its kind. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, every actor was actually in those jets.
Yeah.
That's Tom Cruise, isn't it? Yeah. That's Tom Cruise's influence behind the camera and everything getting it as good as it did.
Everybody flew. Nobody is in. There's no studio, no CGI, no nothing. They're in their planes, and that's as far as the flying scenes go, and they look amazing.
Yes.
Dude, they are amazing, and
So good.
the emotion. The film tackles a lot of that whole, Goose dying in that first movie, and it tackles it a lot in this film. It's like heart-wrenching sometimes.
Drew, did you see Everything Everywhere All at Once yet? Not saying that has to be the #1 movie of the year, but because Top Gun Maverick, I love Top Gun Maverick, but I wonder if you saw.
And it comes from Patrick's favorite company, A24.
Yeah, I noticed that right there above our title there. The Cinema Squad, A24, and the White Lotus.
The White Lotus is a little hint to our skit later on today, but yeah, I was like A24, Patrick's favorite.
I recently got another one though. I did pick
Which
up.
one?
I picked up Bodies a couple of weeks ago.
I haven't watched this.
I haven't seen it yet.
Bodies. I liked it. It was good.
Have you seen it?
No, it's in my watch pile though. I'm sure I'll be bringing it up here momentarily.
Have you heard the sequel's coming out next year? It's called Limbs.
Get out of my house, Joe. Get out of my
Good night, everyone. Patrick, very nice to talk to you.
I will tell you the A24 film that I'm very much looking forward to though is Pearl. I definitely want to see. Pearl.
I watched that the other day. It's great.
Yeah, Joe just saw it a couple days ago.
Yeah, it's great. It's like a amazing jigsaw piece of the first, completely different. But it's weird. You can watch them back to front or the right way around. It's really weird, but it works. I can't wait for magazine.
They're two completely individual films that work individually. You don't need to see one to understand the other, and vice versa.
And I would say Mia Goth, that's probably the best acting I've seen all year from Pearl. That monologue scene, my God, I was waiting for it to cut. I was like, what kind of witchcraft is this? I kind of remember a menu. Like, what are we having for like a starter? Let me just check again.
Yeah, Patrick,
please.
Patrick, if you didn't know, Mia Goth in Pearl has this like 10-minute one-shot monologue.
So good.
Oh, that's she's not a bad actress. She can bring it, and she did some of the writing for the movie for her and Ty West. I think those two are at what they call an item right now. So I can see that happening. I'm sure they collaborated on the script and whatnot. And you know what? She can hold it off. She can pull it off. She's good.
Guys, we got Mr. Bones in the chat saying Boglins.
Boglins.
I believe this was when we were talking about films that we fell in love with at an early age. Grapes of Wrath.
So
Oh,
it just reminds
wow.
me of a Norm Macdonald joke, but I'm not going to go into it.
Wow. That was
Now,
that's a good movie too. That's 1940 with Henry Fonda. That's
also based on literature, no?
John Steinbeck.
Have you read it? I'm guessing you have,
Yeah.
Patrick.
Yeah, I've read that.
Which one's
Have you
better, the book or the movie?
Oh, the book. The
Okay.
book. It's when you get a classic book like that, it's really, really hard. No matter who the filmmaker is, they can't capture everything that's made the book so great. But a lot of them make a serious run at it. The movie's fine. The movie's really good, but the book is better.
Okay.
I like the sequel, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. I think it was like a completely different, a nice ensemble piece.
Made you feel like a man, didn't it?
It did. Fruity.
Let's see here. Mr. Bo saying Ewok Jima. My fave Ewok is Wicked. Talking about Joe, who was talking about Empire Strikes Back. No, so
Oh,
yeah,
my
Wicked.
favorite Ewok is Warren Davis's one, whichever one that's called.
Guys, we got Garrett from Video Tasties in here.
Oh, yeah,
Yay,
being
yay.
random.
What is up, Gareth? He was just on Patrick's show not too long ago. Right back.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. That was a fun interview.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Oh my
Gareth
God.
has a great channel.
Yeah,
Thanks,
no,
Cheetah.
I try to pop in whenever he does those watch-alongs. I think he has such a smart way of getting past the copyright. He just films his TV. Nice.
Yeah. Well, the movies that him and I watch because he actually came to me and he came out to me out one time a few months ago, and he just came out and says, hey, do you know who Andy Sedaris is? And I'm going like, oh hell yeah, I do. And I'm like, yeah, I love Andy Sedaris movies. And so he says, I just got a copy over in the UK, and I wanted to watch some of the movies and do a commentary on it. Would you be up to doing that? So I said, yeah, because yeah, I'm into it. So whenever we watch Andy Sedaris movies, well, he may be filming his TV, but he has to be very fast too, because there's a lot of nakedness in those movies.
Oh my!
How's he get around it? Does he just take the screen away?
Oh, I don't know. He
Puts his fingers there.
he dives on the TV like diving on a hand grenade. No,
Save yourself. Save yourself.
turn your eyes, avert your eyes.
That's a real man. Another answer here from Hobbs Horror. He says that for the film, he would say Stand By Me.
I love Stand By Me.
Yeah. I saw Stand By Me a couple of months ago, and I loved it. I think that is such a great coming of age film, though, right? Not that I hated this part. I didn't hate this part at all. I found it so weird that the director of the film, who was it, Rob Reiner? Did he direct that?
No,
It feels like Rob Reiner. He literally wrote and filmed a whole story that the kids tell about the kid that's eating all the pies, the pie eating contest, and throws up on all the contestants to get back at the bullying. I can't believe he actually filmed that whole segment.
I've not watched it since I was like 10.
Really?
I've only watched it once. I think
You know what I'm talking?
It's been a long time since I watched it too.
I remember the leeches, and that's about it. that was a life lesson right there. I was like, right, must never go like naked in a river ever in life.
No, absolutely not. Can you
Or
imagine?
spray yourself with Lynx down there as well. That's when you become a man. Lynx, by the way, is like a deodorant, and every guy must have done this. Like in school, like you're in your locker room and you think, let me just spray down there, and you get like the burning sensation. But yeah, that's a trial by fire. Hi, Patrick.
Patrick, has it been a while for you for Stand By Me?
Yeah, it's been a while for me too since I've seen it. Though I do hear people talk about it a lot. I just have it hasn't come up for me to rewatch yet.
Gotcha. I think it's still on Netflix. It might be. You know how Netflix is, man. They put things on for 3 days and take it out.
Yeah, sucker you guys back in. Come back. It'll be on next month, maybe. Just pay me that $16.
Oh
do you hate that with Netflix though? When like you see a film and you think, and then you think, later, like 2 weeks later, like, oh yeah, there's this film you can watch, like Wreck, for example. And when I watched that the other day, and it was on like Netflix, and it was gone. I was like, great. It's like it
Mhm.
knows.
Yeah,
See?
they did that recently. I think it was with Silence of the Lambs. They had that on for 3 minutes and it was out. Like, damn. Yeah, they Silence of the Lambs, like they even highlighted it and everything. And
That's why you gotta get physical media. I mean,
Yeah.
I know because then either you're gonna have to rely on Tubi or you're gonna have to rent it on YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tubi cost me nuts. Advert City as well. And the thing is, most of them are American. I have no idea what they're trying to advertise me. I'm like join Liberty Bank, and I'm like, I can't. I don't know what's going.
I didn't know how they did their commercials. Tubi did. I didn't know if they did them regionally or nationally, because I know we got a lot of political ads on our side.
Oh,
I
really?
don't. Yeah.
I really want to see one of those adverts you get in America, like some dad who owns like a car shop down the road, and he's like, "Come down to Neil's Wheels and get your brand new Corvette for $500 dollars." You know what I mean? One of those adverts. It's really like badly shot.
Like you're still in the 70s.
Yeah, am I just stereotyping why America, like based on what I've seen on TV?
We got a question here from Drew. He's asking, which performance by a lead actor in a movie this year do you think is the best? Tom Cruise, Top Gun Maverick, Alexander Skarsgård in The Northman, Harry Styles. I'll include him in this question. From those, none for me. But I'll open up the question, Patrick, from this year of our Lord 2022. Which performance by a lead actor do you think is the best?
Well, this is the tricky part about me and watching movies is because I don't have any of the streaming services, so a lot of the movies that come out, I'm always behind on. So what I do is I just go based on what I watch for the entire year, no matter what year I watched it in.
Okay.
But I will say it's relatively new. I thought the gentleman who played in The Nightingale was outstanding. Who played the Aborigine?
I haven't seen that one, Patrick.
Oh, that movie is. I also would say, as far as an actress goes, I'm probably just hand in hand. I would say that also would probably be Camille Sullivan, and she starred in a movie called Hunter x Hunter.
I've heard about it. Yep.
Holy shit! See, that's just like I don't get really shocked too much, but holy shit, that movie is insane.
Hunter.
Yeah, I've heard about this. I have heard about this film.
Yeah, I was, and there's another film that I have to champion too, because it stars a really bright young star, and that is The Children of Sin, that was written and directed by Christopher Moore, and it starred Meredith Moeller. She's gonna pop.
You think?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, star written all over her. She's got talent. She's got looks. She's down to earth. She's only 21. She just turned on.
Jesus.
Patrick, in another life, you used to be in the bookies for horse racing, didn't you? Like, bet on that horse.
Let me tell you something about her. I mean, I gotta, because I gotta talk her up a little bit, because not only she's a fine actress, she's done two really good movies. She did one called Triggered, and she did the Children of Sin. And not only she a very good actress, but she's fearless. She has a medical condition that requires her to have a port put into her shoulder. It's very noticeable. My wife had one. It's not pretty. Basically it's just a badge telling you that you're very sick. And most people would always try to hide that, and whatnot. But she's not afraid of it. She's not afraid of it. So whenever she does her PR poses or whatever, she shows that port. And she's saying, this is who I am. This is all of me. And so, it just makes you really gravitate and really get invested in her as an actress all that much more. And Christopher Moore, he's also another awesome talent as well. Really bright, real sharp. if they were anywhere other than Mississippi, they would probably be making inroads. I hope they do, because they're very deserving. Children of Sin has been probably my favorite 2022 film that I've watched this year. That would be my number one, right next to The Nightingale. The Nightingale that had me from the get-go. And Relic is really good too.
I think the actor you're talking about is Sam Claflin or Claflin.
No. The gentleman, though Sam was good in that, because it was the first time I saw him play a villain, and I was just like, holy crap, he was really good in that too, and he was a bastard. But the gentleman who played the Aborigine, I think his name was Samuel in that, and he played the tracker. And
okay.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about now. Now you said that, I know what you're talking about. I've never watched this, but I've heard about his role, known as the tracker.
Yes.
Yes, and is this on physical media? You've got Patrick, or did you catch
it? Actually, it is an IFC midnight film.
Of course.
So of course, as is Hunter x Hunter. So you can get both copies. You can get those anywhere, but they're amazing films.
Joe, I'll pass it to you real quick. What about you to answer this question?
You know what? I can't think of any memorable actor.
All right, let's move on.
I'd say female actress Mia Goth. Straight away, I'm just gonna say she's my favorite actress. Actor, I honestly can't think of one. One that stands out to me. So I'm just gonna say Daniel Radcliffe is El Yankovic. That's probably that's not because of the portrayal, if you've seen the movie, but more how much fun he has in on a joke he is, and just what a range he has as an actor. So Daniel Radcliffe.
Nice. I haven't seen Weird yet. I want to before the year ends.
It's laugh out loud. I was laughing all the time.
It's good.
Have you seen it, Dan?
Daniel Radcliffe, he's very he loves playing. He likes doing comedies. He does do that. He likes playing the comedies.
Yeah.
And he did a very good film for A24 called Swiss Army Knife. That's one
of my favorite films.
Yep.
I love that film.
By the same directors of Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
Dan, curious about your answer here.
Yeah, male is harder to think about right now.
It is. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I love Brendan Gleeson in The Banshees. Who?
Yeah, it's pretty.
Colin Farrell too, huh?
I was about to say, at least for right now, I'm gonna go with even what some of my Oscar predictions here. Colin Farrell in The Banshees of Inisherin, I thought that was a great performance. And Austin Butler in Elvis, that portrayal of Elvis is uncanny. It's uncanny. I really enjoyed that.
Ralph Fiennes in The Menu was so good.
Ray Fiennes.
I can't wait to watch it this weekend.
And Anya
pronounced Ray Fiennes, Dan.
Ray Fiennes, yes. And Anya Taylor-Joy is great in that. And the other guy, I can't think of his name.
Nicholas Hoult.
Yes, Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, he's good.
What about female-wise? Everybody gave a female answer as well.
I would really like let's see, as far as female goes, well, I would put Meredith Moeller for me.
Yeah.
For Children of Sin, but there's a lady there, and let me see if I can bring up her name here.
Julianne Moore.
Camille Sullivan from Hunter x Hunter. Oh shit.
Yeah.
That movie wrecked me. That movie is just
when you say wrecked you, compare it to a film you've seen that made you feel that way. Just so we can get sort of like
a Dark Song.
Yeah.
That wasn't quite to that level, but it's definitely in the same neighborhood as that.
Okay.
I'll also let you know when I bring up here the young lady who played in Nightingale, played the
Jace
mother.
Is here.
She was amazing too. And Mordred Clark. I mean, she went on to do Ring of Power. Some of these films might be a little older, but they're still, like how I watch movies, so they're new to me, which is why I'm
Yeah,
bringing them
man.
out. But I really like the cast of Relic. That movie also really got me too. That's a heavy ass movie.
Relic.
When did that come out? 96 and then 95,
That
96?
came out last year, 20.
Oh, wow. I'm terrible. Think of a different film.
That was a test, Joe. You're out.
Yeah. No.
Um,
Oh, no.
While Patrick looks for that, real quickly, Eric's answer for the movie was The Dark Knight because it made him realize that Batman is the best character in fiction.
Wait, a long time.
Yeah.
2007. What, 2007?
No other character is as versatile.
Good choice.
I don't
I love
agree.
Eric.
But good choice. Yeah, sure. Good choice. Did you find it, Patrick?
yeah, I did find it. Her name is Aisling Francosi.
Okay.
A couple other female performances I can let you know too. One was by Leslie Manville, and she had a co-star in the movie. She's just breaking out now. Her name's Alba Baptista. She's a Portuguese actress, and both those ladies were just outstanding. And Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. That's a beautiful film too.
Yeah, that's this year as well, Patrick.
Yeah, that was really good.
I'm not really feeling that one.
I've yet to see it. I've heard good things about it, though. Believe it or not,
it's really good. Jason Isaacs has a small role in it, but he's really charming. Lambert Wilson from the Matrix movies, and Rabid Dogs, he's in it. Sensational role. It's that's a movie anybody who loves cinema will watch.
Yeah.
If you like movies, that's the kind of movie you watch because you love movies.
I will watch it immediately.
Do it now or you're lying.
Do it.
See, Shawn knows what I'm talking about. See?
Where's Shawn?
Do it.
I forgot about those memes.
Guys, we got Katie in the chat. She's saying hi,
Okay.
friends. Hello, Katie. Happy to have you on here.
Hello, Katie.
Hey, Katie.
We also got I Am the Ice Lord.
Oh.
Boom, 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 boom. Hey, everybody. Hi. We got Al Lucard.
Dracula.
I think bats would do well in a fight too. Oh, this is my question of the. I can't even see it because I'm on StreamYard. Does anybody have the results right now? About who's winning? I said who would win in a fight to the death: lions, tigers, bears, or cheetahs?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Let's see. Let's see if we have it. I think if it did, it did. It got swallowed up by the Happy Friday message.
No, don't tell me that.
Okay, who will win in a fight?
Yeah, I want to see who would win.
The bat or a cat?
I can't see the results of these. I don't know.
Guys, we got horror flicks with Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Nick.
He's saying
Hey,
Tubi isn't even the worst one. Plex somehow has even more commercial breaks.
I can't believe that's true.
What is Plex?
I never heard of Plex.
I've heard of it.
I've never heard of it in my life.
Well, now we know to stay away from it then.
Thanks, Nick.
The poll. Katie says the poll is no longer there.
Did it time out? Well, somebody saw it because they said bats.
Joe, I like your shirt.
Oh, thank you.
I want it.
I voted.
Terrified.
Who'd you vote for?
I voted for the cheetah. Of course.
I knew it. Man, I gotta check out what happened there because did it time out or anything?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't believe Honey Badger's not on there. Dad destroyed them all.
Hufflepuff.
They got their feelings hurt.
I wonder if Nick means as an actor or in the Banshees of Inisherin.
I think it was when we were talking about the best actor of the year.
Yeah.
The best performance. So I think he's just saying he likes. I think.
Yeah. So I believe we have just actual comments. So before I get to those, I think we're gonna get to question number 2. Because guys, if you're just joining us, we're doing 7 questions with Patrick. Thanks. Who did that? I love it. Dude,
It was me.
Patrick, we got your second question.
Oh, I'm ready.
All right. I bet you have a lot of answers here, right? But I want you to pick the number 1 that you cannot let someone not watch this. Because what is a hidden gem, show, or movie that you think people need to check out?
Oh.
Anybody in the chat want to answer that? Because they can answer this question.
Okay. I'll wait for that. I'll wait for
Yeah.
that. So give your number 2 then.
Yeah, anybody in the chat who knows me at all, they'll be able to tell you right away.
This
Cheetah.
house is clear. It's like Paranormal Activity.
Feline activity.
I saw that live. I saw the cheetah just. Oh, that's the cheetah, right? Right, Patrick?
Yeah. He jumped on there, and then he knocked it over.
Once again on camera.
No,
I some answers. Not yet. No answers yet.
No answers yet. Really?
No
You guys-
answers yet.
Oh my god,
Who from the chat you think would know?
everybody. Everybody. You guys.
Patrick,
Shawn
give us a clue.
Shawn for sure. Shawn for sure.
I wonder if Shawn's on his break.
Well, the movie I would tell you, the one movie that I tell everybody about and share out as much as I can is a movie I mentioned earlier, and that would be a Dark Song.
Dark Song.
Yeah, that is my very favorite film that I have reviewed in the last 20 years. It is amazing. Amazing movie.
2016?
2016. It's absolutely beautiful. It's both horror and it's both spiritual and it's lost hope and it speaks to you.
Oh, wow.
What was that, Dan?
My dog. Well, I'm dog. It's
oh no! Fight it out.
Uh-oh. all I saw was a dog there. Like, oh, look how cute.
Yeah.
So Patrick, you're a fan of dogs, even though you prefer cats.
I like dogs fine. I've owned dogs, and I like dogs, but I'm really a cat person.
Okay.
I've had cats. Cats were, it wasn't my first pet, but it was, one I had when I was really young. I had full responsibility for. Oh, there you go, Dan.
Dan's getting a lap dance.
Hey, so Patrick, the Ice Lord says that Cheetahs was at like 60% before that poll disappeared. So I'm guessing it won.
I'm thinking so too.
Yeah, I guess that's the majority.
Everybody respects Cheetahs and their speed and murder mittens.
Their murder mittens. I love that.
He should be. He'll be up here shortly. But I got a new computer, so I have the empty box up here. So right now he's more interested in the box. But he'll be.
Always do that, don't they? Like a brand new box, they jump in and hide.
I have no idea.
Patrick is saving so much money.
I have no idea why they love boxes as much as they do.
Drew here says that I completely agree. Most people would consider T2 the best, talking about Terminator. And tell me if you agree that the T-1000 is the best action movie villain. He's absolutely terrifying. Patrick, what do you think about this? Would you say the T-1000 is the best action movie villain?
God, no.
I don't know if I would say. There's so many action villains. Way too many.
Yeah, there's way too many great villains. Way too many. Hell, Christina Loken gave him a run for the money in the third Terminator. She was badass in that movie.
Yeah, but people like to forget that movie.
That's a shame because she was really good at it. I mean,
yeah.
her and Arnold boxing and fighting, that was really good. That's an underrated movie.
I know a lot of people would say Hans Gruber from Die Hard.
Hans Gruber was really good.
I would actually say Jack Palance from Tango and Cash.
Wow, that's
a
out there.
Just because he sticks in my mind.
That's out there.
I love him, isn't actually so like evil in every role he does.
I will
Yeah.
say I'm going to pull the wild card here because I think I know somebody that would have a good answer to this.
Oh my.
Anthony.
Oh.
Wow.
He will have a ton of answers for us.
Okay, well, first I have to read the question.
Anthony, I'll speed it up here. T1000 best action movie villain, yay or nay? If nay, then hey. Who? I mean,
Let's see. Oh, we just lost somebody. Who we lose?
no, I think he's fixing it.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I completely agree. Most people would consider T2 the best, and tell me if you agree. T2 is the best action movie. Don't know what's happening. It might be. I don't know. That's a tough one. Like I would go with yes as like a quick answer, but not to like hold things up. Like I would probably go with yes. How you doing, guys? I want to say hello officially, and hey, Patrick, it's awesome to see you again. Yes. Oh my goodness, it's great to be here. Happy Friday, everyone.
Patrick was very generous. He gave me all his cats.
That's right.
Wow,
Everything. What I know, isn't that the best background ever?
Anthony, you missed the background of cats. You missed real life lessons about how to be a man.
Okay, all right.
You missed out. How are you gonna know now? You're gonna have to go back and listen.
I saw a little bit. I saw that like we started with the 7 questions a little bit, and so I'm a little bit up there. And I saw that Cheetah was acting up in the background. I saw that was awesome.
Oh my god. So we disagree, Anthony. We don't think the T1000 is the best action movie villain. We brought up like Hans Gruber. Who the heck did Joe say from Tango and Cash?
Yes.
The villain from Tango and Cash. Yeah.
He was good. Jack Palance was good in Shane too.
Yeah. I mean, Emperor Palpatine, like that's always like a default for me, you know. Like I always go back to Star Wars, so Emperor Palpatine was really good in terms of villains. But are we talking only about action? Movies?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Hans Gruber from Die Hard. Yeah. That's
It's a good one, but there's way too many. Way too many.
Yeah, it feels like a really good top 5 or top 10 list, right?
Yeah.
Like a cool.
Because that way, if you actually get, like Blofeld from James Bond, you got to throw him in the mix. I mean, he's been raising Cain for 50 years or so.
Yeah. True.
So people here naming their favorite lead male performance of the year. We got Shawn saying that it's Zach Villa from Hypochondriac. I haven't seen the film. But that's a big deal if he says that's his favorite.
He's good, yeah.
We also have Drew saying that there's also Hans Gruber. We were mentioning him. I didn't even see that. Alan Rickman, my guy. Alan Rickman, a legend.
He is.
And look, Nick agrees with Nightingale. He says it's incredible, Patrick.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's a fantastic film.
Yeah, I've seen it too. It's good.
We got Mr. Berger Rokar in the chat.
Hey,
Jace.
What's up, Jace?
What is up? All right. So I think this is a question here from Eric. He says, how would you guys rank all of these years of comic book movies? Oh, Patrick, have you seen all the comic book movies from this year?
I've seen enough.
Okay.
If I had to choose one, I mean, I guess I would have to, the movie that I think is the best one that's been released so far. I definitely would go with the new Black Panther movie.
Oh wow, okay.
Because Ryan Coogler has this, for one thing, Marvel left him the hell alone.
Yeah.
That's really the reason why why the Black Panther movie is doing as well as it did, because he basically told him this: don't send me anybody on set. Don't send me notes. Don't send me shit. And they listened to him, and he has produced a beautiful film, and making tons of cash.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's a good film, and it introduces another major character in Namor, the Submariner. I liked how they did it. And yeah, it's otherwise we get stuck with Super Pets
or Morbius.
Yeah, Morbius gets a pass, though. I have to say this: Morbius gets a pass more so than Black Adam, only because that Morbius is an origin story, And origin stories are always the hardest to tell.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really hard to tell. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Hey, my friend likes that movie.
I would have to say for me, it's still Matt Reeves' The Batman. That was surprising for me. It's still up there in my top 5 of the year. Great film, great film. As a Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, I think that's a good choice. I think that's a good number 2 for me. And then the rest, dude. I mean, I could rank them if you wanted me to, but I don't want to.
Yeah, no, you don't have to.
John,
Yeah.
John, you like Multiverse of Madness?
I did. I like Multiverse of Madness, absolutely. But I mean, it's. I'm over it. Like
I have my letterbox though.
Oh, gotcha. Anthony,
No.
Batman.
You know what? From this, I think I would go with Black Panther. I still have to see it. Unfortunately. Yeah.
How can you
That
go
would
for
be
something?
that would be my pick once I see it. So I'm gonna go with Batman by default. In this case, I would go with the Batman. Although Thor actually wasn't as bad as what I thought it would be. Maybe it's because my expectations were lowered. So hey, Joe.
Hey, giddy, Allah. Hi guys, sorry about that. My internet just Andy came in, everything froze, and I had to reset it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. You looked fine from our end, I think.
Oh my.
Joe, favorite comic book movie this year?
Probably the Batman.
Okay. Have you seen Black Panther: Wakanda Forever?
I haven't yet. I will see it because I'm getting pressure from everyone, both digital and in life. Now I'd say no. It's really, I'm kind of done with superhero movies. Not all of them. Like, you know, I mean, like I can jump into a MCU one, but without watching the others. If that makes sense. Because normally I'll be religious with it. 4-1, 4-2, Iron Man 2. I watched the ones that were like on there, but yeah, like for me, I'm just gonna jump into the ones I watch, and I'll just like watch YouTube videos to catch up with what's going on if I've missed the TV shows and that. But yeah, the Batman.
Okay, cool.
Good
I'm looking forward to
choice.
Man of Steel 2. Oh yeah. Mwah.
Patrick, quick question just before we go. Have you seen any of the Marvel TV series? Just curious.
No, I have not.
Okay.
I haven't. So I really, it's just Disney. This is what really sucks for Disney. It's like, you know what? It's like, look, they just won't do. They won't even do on demand. Like if you don't want to put them out to the brick and mortar stores, I understand that. But why not make them available to fans of physical media? Let us do what Warner Brothers does.
Yeah.
Let us buy it. Let us buy it for ourselves. You don't have to worry about inventory or anything like that. You just, as soon as you get the order, you make it and ship it.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. It's just sitting there in a streaming service, and there are other people who who want to check it out, and it's a shame that it's not available. Yeah,
it sucks.
2 things, guys, before we get to our question of the day. Eric Thorpe says that Javier Bardem as Silva in Skyfall would be his pick, talking about the action movie villain. Didn't even think James Bond, but that is true. I mean, that's as much an action movie as any other. And Javier Bardem as Silva in Skyfall, I thought was great. Have you seen Skyfall, Patrick?
I was actually thinking No Country for Old Men.
That's a great film.
I just wouldn't say action though, but yeah, 100%. Javier Bardem as what's his name, Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men. Great performance. One of my favorite villain performances, but I don't know if I would say it's an action movie.
Dennis Hopper was real good in Speed. Just to take it back a little bit.
I thought you were seeing the Super Mario Brothers movie there for a second. I was like, no, actually.
Chris Pratt.
He was pretty good in that too. Come on now.
Monkeys.
Awesome.
It's always fun when you see an actor go against type. When like watching Morgan Freeman in Wanted. I mean, you saw that and you go what? It's like you just didn't expect to see that. He turns out to be the bad guy, and he would be one to throw the hat into the ring for.
So, guys,
or not.
Guys, we have hit that hour mark, and you know what that means for shooting the shit. It means it is time for our question of the day. But today's question of the day, will be intertwined. So it will actually be Patrick's third question from 7 Questions with Patrick.
Love the meow.
Oh, you have to have the meow. You have to have it.
All right, so let me take this banner off, and we will get to Patrick's third question, which I made my question of the day. It'll be a fun one.
I like fun.
So, in honor of our feline-loving friend Patrick, our question for him is, what are your most memorable movies or movie moments that involve pets? Or if you can't think of a pet, any animal.
Oh, wow. So, of course, there's a ton of movies out there with cats. You can go, either with so many directions with that. But as far as just animals, I'll take you back to probably the first horror film that I saw that stayed with me. I'll surprise everybody here. But the first time I saw this movie, it was my first horror movie. It spooked me more than Jaws did.
Can I take a guess?
Go ahead.
Is it Grizzly?
It is.
What?
Love Grizzly. Grizzly was awesome.
And that's a really good film. It's underrated.
1976.
Yes, I saw it at the theater, and it was rated PG. And let me tell you, that movie was not rated PG.
Yeah. That's what I love about the 70s and 80s. Those PG movies, you watch them and you're like, hey, wait a minute, this would not be
What?
Like Jaws as well.
I am looking at pictures right now of this movie. This looks terrifying.
And it's really good. It's like practical effects are so gory.
In fact, Andrew Prime just passed away a couple of weeks ago, and he was one of the leads in the movie.
Oh wow!
I need to watch that again, to be honest, because I watched it.
He played the helicopter pilot.
You're just a wealth of knowledge, Patrick. You're a wealth of knowledge. Like Patrick's blown me away. He's like a Wikipedia for film. He's just like he remembers so much.
100%. I say the same thing about Patrick. He's like a Wikipedia for film.
Yeah.
Patrick though, is there a moment in Grizzly though that sticks out to you? You can spoil it. It's like an almost like 100-year-old movie.
yeah. There's a scene in the movie that has Richard Jacobs in this film too, right? So he's playing the Richard Dreyfuss character, the scientist. So don't kill the bear, that sort of thing. Don't kill the shark. So he's out there and he gets attacked. So you see the bear just whipping his ass, but bears will, he's trying to play dead too, and so he gets worked up pretty good, and then the bear leaves, and he comes to, and he's like, okay, he's gone, she's gone far enough, I can probably get up. So he starts moving, he gets up, he turns around, and the bear's sitting right there waiting for him. He didn't even make any noise. He just turned around, now see the bear there, and it's lights out.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it was pretty amazing scene.
It's like Yogi Bear on cocaine.
Hey, boo-boo!
Let's go rip some people up
for these picnic baskets.
Yeah, that movie's really underrated. It's a good movie. It's fun. Of course, everybody calls it a Jaws knockoff, but and maybe some scenes definitely. But the bear is like. Your chances of running into a bear are a lot more than running into a great white shark.
Yeah,
you'd think that, Patrick. You'd think that. In London, they're everywhere. Honestly, it's like coconuts and killer whales everywhere in London.
Well, do you guys have wild animals like that in England, Joe? Do you have
Patrick,
bears?
The red squirrel is a savage. Honestly, like it targets anyone over the age of 60. Honestly, it's really tragic. It's not funny. Can we move on, please?
Talking about killer whales, does anybody have Willie from Free Willy on their list here?
No.
No.
I can see that being on somebody's list. But no.
It is well. Free Willy does have a memorable movie moment though when he jumps over the barge.
Mhm.
That's memorable.
Yeah.
It was actually a bunch of rocks, John.
Yes, it is a bunch of rocks. I just didn't want to. I wanted to sound fancy.
I'm sorry.
Mission accomplished, John.
Thank you, Patrick. Joe, get out of my house. But so for me, it's not my favorite film at all. But I'm gonna answer more the moment part of the question. I've mentioned it before in another stream. It's that ending of Homeward Bound: An Incredible Journey. Don't know if any of you have seen it.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure when it came out, actually. But
which one, John? The original one, like in the 70s? Okay.
Yeah, the first one, because the second one is like Lost in San Francisco or something like that.
The first one is I read the book when it came out. That's
really?
Beautiful book.
Oh wow.
I never knew it was a book.
The ending of Homeward Bound, I think, is such an emotional ending. It pulls you this way and then it pulls you that way by the end. The animals finally get home, right?
Yep.
And the only one that hasn't gotten home is Shadow, the golden retriever. And he's the kid, the owner. The kid is waiting for Shadow to pop over that hill, and he's not coming. And the parents are already comforting him, saying, Shadow was an old dog. He just didn't make it. And you're thinking, man, this is so sad, especially for a kid. I was a kid watching this thinking, Shadow didn't make it. And then he looks around again, and over that hill, limping, is Shadow. And Shadow's just, what's his name? Peter, I believe is the kid's name, Peter. And he's like, Peter, Shadow, and they're just running at each other, limping golden retriever, and they give each other this big hug, and it's so emotional, and I love it. It still gives me the feels to this day.
And then he gets bitten by a bat, and then he tries to kill this mum and daughter in a car. Isn't that?
It really was an incredible journey.
Those crazy.
What's that, Patrick?
Those crazy bats.
Yeah.
They get around.
But that would be my choice. Yeah, that would be my choice. Anthony, what about you, my friend?
You know what? I would want to at least give a shout out to the movie Old Yeller, which is a movie that I saw when I was very young. It showed up on TV and I watched it, and this is a movie that it got to me, man. As a kid, it really tore me apart. Like, spoiler alert, it doesn't end well. But oh my God, yeah. To this day, I refuse to even rewatch that movie.
Really?
Yeah, it's very emotional, emotional. And
yeah,
because, like, I've always loved cats and dogs or whatever, but my family always tended to just have dogs for whatever reason. So maybe that's why that movie got to me. But my pick would probably be like Cat's Eye. I love the cat in that film, and it's I have to go with horror for this. There's especially the final segment in Cat's Eye with the young Drew Barrymore.
Yeah,
1985.
That would. So that would be my pick for this. There's something, because that cat is so mysterious. I mean, the cat shows up I believe, in every story. It's like an anthology movie, but that last segment in particular is great, and the cat gets to play the hero. So that would be my pick for this.
Good movie.
Yeah.
1985. Wow, Drew Barrymore.
I didn't know it was that. Yeah.
And it's Stephen King.
Yeah.
It's funny too. I love how you said that. How you had to go with horror. And yet you didn't pick the one movie that people instantly think of when they think of
Marley and Me.
Because
that's another one. I know. Cemetery. Yeah, that was on my mind too. The cat.
No, actually, the one I was thinking about was Cujo.
Cujo.
I know that's a sore subject for you, Patrick. I didn't even want to bring it up.
Cujo is not a. That's a horror movie, but on totally, everybody looks at Dee Wallace and the boy, and it's like they're not the victims. That dog is.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Cujo. I'm on his side.
Yeah. But that's such a terrifying thing, man. Yeah, I remember watching Cujo when I was younger as well. I thought it was terrifying. takes place in a
It is.
car the whole time.
It's absolutely terrifying, but it's actually terrifying, especially since they both Old Yeller and Cujo are tied together by the one common denominator, and that's rabies.
Rabies.
You
Yeah,
know?
have you seen? They made a prequel to Cujo, Beethoven.
I was like, what?
Poor
Cujo,
Beethoven.
the next generation.
Lost in San Francisco.
Man,
The trilogy.
Beethoven's doing pretty rough, man.
Mm-hmm.
Cujo, I didn't even think Cujo. I thought it was Pet Cemetery. Yeah. I will say real quickly, Pet Cemetery, the remake, I didn't hate it.
I thought it was good, apart from the twit, like the different take on the story.
Yeah. Dan, is it Lyle Lyle Crocodile?
No, it's probably James Gordon from Cats. No.
No.
Oh my god.
That's not even right.
No.
Wait, did you like the butthole cut or the no butthole cut?
Yeah. Didn't they show Beauty Dench's butthole on Cat?
I think they did. They showed everybody's butthole, Patrick.
What's happening right now?
I walked out for 20 minutes in.
This is that part of the stream where we talk about buttholes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's that time, is it?
It's our favorite, and I have a graphic for it too. And I'm just kidding.
Oh, God. Red Rocket.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say the Homeward Bound scene. Well, I wasn't gonna say it. I knew. I had a feeling John was gonna say it. But yeah, I love that scene. Old Yeller was good. The goat from The Witch always terrifies me.
Ooh, that's
Oh my god, that goat makes me laugh.
What?
I love him.
Patrick,
Black
you're
Phillip?
insane. Yeah, Black Phillip.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, he's so fucking cute.
You're in. Patrick's insane.
Well, I have
That goat is hilarious.
Patrick, you're insane.
You know what? It actually took me out of the movie because I'm sitting in there watching it. I'm all intense, and then they showed that goat running around, hopping, and like it just made me laugh. I'm sitting there laughing. I'm watching the movie. Actually, I watched it with I think I watched it with Casey, and me and Casey were watching it, and all of a sudden that goat came out there jumping, hopping, and I just started laughing. I'm like, holy shit, that goat's way too cute. And then yeah, I know he killed the dad later, but spoiler alert. But before that, though, Black Phillip's an icon.
Black Phillip is literally Satan.
I have,
But he was funny as hell, though.
I love that answer. What were you gonna say, Dan?
I have his Funko Pop, so I do like him. Yeah.
I didn't even know they had a Funko Pop of Black Phillip.
Yeah, they sold out. It's hard to find.
I have a semi-funny story about Old Yeller, and it's it was with my wife, and I like to joke around with my wife sometimes, and like I tell like little white lies just so to like I tell her little white lies, she goes, "Really?" And I'm like, "No, did you really believe me?" You know, those type of white lies, just to like have fun with her.
Fun ones.
And I do that so often that there was a day where we saw, I think it was like an old trailer or a clip from Old Yeller. She's like, "This is from Disney?" Because it was from Disney. If I'm not wrong, it was from Disney.
Yep.
It is from Disney. She's like, "Yeah, I've never seen this film." It's like, "Yeah, like in the end, the dog gets rabies and they have to shoot him." And she's like, "Yeah, right. Yeah, right." I mean, I'm not kidding, for real. Like he gets rabies, and it's sad because like he was such a great dog, and he would like help the family and blah blah blah, and they have to kill him. She's like, "You're lying. Shut up." And she just didn't believe me. To this day, she still doesn't believe me.
Oh God.
Until now.
Ooh. Yeah, well, I can tell you, Jonathan's not lying.
No.
But if it makes you feel any better, the Garfield the cat said that the Old Yeller is his favorite movie.
I prefer Garfield: A Tale of Two Kitties.
I like
love the Garfield
I thought the origin was really cute too.
I like, yeah. I don't like the second movie at all. I saw it in theaters.
I
don't like it.
Garfield.
I didn't like the second one that much either.
Yeah, the second Garfield.
I always find it interesting that Garfield the cartoon was voiced by the actor that played Bill Murray's character in Ghostbusters, the animated series. And then Bill Murray played Garfield the voice.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like a weird, should never happen in life, but did situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Lorenzo Music passed away by that time. He had passed away after Ghostbusters and before the Garfield movie came on.
Oh my.
He did all the yeah. Lorenzo,
Actually, you're going to force me to drink after this stream. I'm going to be like, oh, no, no. Everyone I love is dead.
Yes.
no, yeah,
Who knows,
Okay.
Keller?
I mean, not a real animal, CGI animal here. Any fans of Paddington?
Oh.
Yeah, I love Paddington.
I
It's
love
two-
Paddington.
Two of the best films for families ever made, in my opinion.
I agree. I agree with that sentiment. I think Paddington 1 and 2 are two of the best family films ever made.
And my mums and sisters, when we're having a disagreement, I always go, well, Aunt Lucy said. Just to get them up on it. Well, Aunt Lucy wouldn't agree with that.
What about Gremlins? Would you consider them under the whole pets/animals?
Now I'd say monsters. Oh, monsters.
Yeah. Creature feature.
Okay, you go.
I mean, they're technically pets, though.
Well,
Well-
Gizmo. I was close to thinking about Gizmo. You know, it's fantasy, but yeah, that I mean, it's just there's so much responsibility there.
No, yeah, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
but it's he was always very cute.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we got some answers here from the people in the
I was just
chat.
going to say mine would have been
No.
Benji.
Benji.
Mine was Benji.
Oh Lord.
Your mom was Benji.
No, my animal movie was Benji. No one's seen Benji? Patrick, he
Yeah,
must
I
have
saw
seen
Benji. I saw Benji.
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's a great film.
I have not seen Benji.
It's really
no.
good. It's really tense. When you're a kid, it's a really, really tense dog
Is it
film.
sad? Dog died?
No, it's basically a dog that gets lost in the woods and he has to look after these. Meets these little baby cougars, like
Cheetahs?
Yeah, I don't know what
No.
they are. Yeah, and then but
Yeah,
there's this
cheetahs.
wolf stalking them. So it's like he's like a little dog. It sounds really bad the way I'm describing it, but it's a really good film.
Nice, nice. Look, Lost in the Real says here that anything Paddington, so that's cool. Oh, another good one here. The Fox and the Hound.
Mm.
That's got a scary bear in there as well.
It does have a scary bear. That's a great movie. I haven't seen that film in years. It's dark, especially
Yeah.
toward the end.
Disney surprises you a lot. You know, it's not all fluff. Well, not all fluff.
Yeah.
They put out some. They put a lot of tearjerkers out there.
My wife and I right now we're going through the Disney animated animation catalog in chronological
cool.
order. Yeah.
Right. What do
Yeah,
you
so-
like
With
now?
Snow White then.
So right now we're in the wartime era. We just finished the golden era, which is Snow White, Pinocchio, Fantasia, Dumbo, and Bambi. We finished that already.
I love that. Love that.
And Bambi is one that reminds me of Fox and the Hound in that it starts out very nice, very kiddish, very pretty, and then by the end,
Yeah.
it gets really dark.
Don't go into the meadow.
So that's one of them. Yeah, but right now I'm in the wartime era, or what they call the package films, which is each film is comprised of a couple shorts, and I don't like it. Anyway,
Didn't Dumbo have one at the end, like with 3 kittens?
no.
I've got Dumbo on VHS, and at the very end of it, there's a Disney cartoon with 3 kittens.
Oh, they might be one of the package films. I'll let you know when I finish them. Let's see. Memorable quote of the day: "The red squirrel is a savage."
It is.
Eric
That's-
says super pets, but I think Patrick has his reservations.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to see about that. I got it. So I'll take a look. I'll take a look at it for sure.
I didn't
I
care
like
for super pets.
I like
didn't care. Yeah, I didn't care really for it.
I pretty much like all of DC's animation. I think they do animation awesome.
Oh, hell yeah, Patrick.
Yeah, DC's the place to go for animation.
Interweb Kaiju is asking here, which butthole made you love movies? For me, it was Backyard Babes 3.
I saw that comment earlier, and it
Mine-
threw me off for about 10 minutes. I was just off to the side, just kind
I
of
would say mine's the rhino scene from Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and Nature Calls.
yeah, that was a good one. A lot of answers for this one. I love that.
That's a pretty good one. That's a real answer.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Eric says F the witch with a dead face. I'm guessing he doesn't like it or it scared the crap out of him.
Oh.
Patrick, how do you feel about the witch?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I was
Eric,
really like it.
Aries says it because it ruined goats for him. But for
'cause
Patrick,
that-
it was the opposite effect.
Made him fall in love with goats.
Black Phillip was hilarious.
And Patrick is in the chat saying Black Phillip is awesome.
Hi, Patrick.
Hey, it's that guy.
Nice to have you on, Patrick. Let's see. Is there anybody here that is talking about an animal? I guess not. Okay, well, guys, that was our conversation on
Nice.
animals in movies.
I like that one. That was nice.
A little fun one. A little fun one.
Yeah.
So now, my friends, right after the question of the day, we go straight
Nice.
into what many of you. Hold on, I need to take this comment off. And this banner, really? StreamYard?
And everyone else. Good night, everyone.
Ladies, it is time for Shooting the Skip, baby!
Baby.
Shooting the Skip. Ladies and gentlemen, today's skit is a very important one. This is a skit that we've been working on for quite some time now. It is a skit that we did in Orlando when we all met up. It was filmed in Orlando. We did it in Orlando in the past couple of weeks / months. I've kind of been on and off editing it. And I thought, you know what? Penultimate episode of Shooting the Shit. I think it's time to show the world what we got in store for them. So, ladies and gentlemen, are we ready? Because it is time for our first ever live action in person skit.
I've got chills.
About 4 minutes long. I hope you enjoy.
Over Jace at least a little.
Jace is just a hater.
Jason, you haven't fallen in love with it yet over the last week or so?
I swear to God, it felt like it couldn't make up its mind on what it wanted to be.
We're not
Specifically,
doing this.
but it's
Well, there's
oh, what
there's
you
two
can
parts,
say whatever
babe.
the fuck you want. The moment I start complaining, it's not good. You guys had like
move on.
you guys had like a
We need to move
10-minute rant
on.
about how much you love this shit. I say a couple things and it's no longer it's okay. Shawn, don't hate me.
You just freaked out for no reason.
Oh,
I'm just
come
saying,
on.
we need to move on.
Keep
We
going.
talked about
Move
White
on.
Lotus forever.
Move
Oh,
on.
whoa. Come on. As I get to the next question here, don't hit me with the no reason shit. You all of a sudden, I go to say a couple of opinions, and all of a sudden you get on my case about how I can't. Oh, we're not getting in this again. I didn't stop you when you started gushing over it again.
No. Fuck off.
Okay. Okay.
I think we're ready to talk about this now.
Yeah, I don't see why we can't talk about it.
Cool?
Cool.
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 Cool?
Cool.
You sure?
Ready when you are.
Okay. So the whole point of the show is that it's all about human nature.
The show didn't make any fucking sense!
Jennifer Coolidge deserved the ending, you bitch!
Piss off! No, she didn't!
Watch the hair, please. But don't you see the progression of my fight? From the Emoji Movie to the White Lotus!
That movie had more character development than this whole series!
onions, Jace. It's all about peeling back the layers of the onion.
What do I look like, an ogre to you? Even with peeling back all those onions, all they do is walk in one big circle the whole time.
It looks like we're never going to agree then.
I guess we never will.
Enjoy exclusive rewards inside our petal and blossom circles. Immerse yourself in luxury at the White Lotus.
Man, I can't believe we're gonna watch season 2 together. It actually looks pretty good. What? It looks terrible. What? Fuck off. Fuck off. Yeah. The flag was fine. Yeah, some of the guys got here before me. Yeah. Nah, I don't think they'll tear each other's heads off. I'm sure. Yeah. What the fuck?
The White
That was
Lotus.
amazing.
The White Lotus discussion.
Awesome.
That was really, really, really good. Like,
Yeah,
I-
it was fun.
even the beginning bit of the title sequence, I was like, "What in the editing am I watching right now?" It was incredible. It's really, really good.
It's supposed to be like a White Lotus vibe with the whole like weirard
The drums in the
pictures,
background.
the drums in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good, but it did not seem like 4 minutes at all. Like, because literally, when I saw the blue line at the bottom, I was like, "Huh? It's finished. It's almost finished." I was like, "Jesus." That was great, guys. Really, really good.
Yeah, well done.
appreciate
And also appreciate the flashback, just as like a nice awkward
Yeah.
reminder of what happened.
Very real reminder, right?
And
It
you
was
can see
almost
everybody's reactions were like, "Oh fuck!" This
I
is awkward."
remember watching that in the morning, and it got to that
Yeah.
part, and I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh no."
yeah. It was very awkward. I remember Anthony going, "Come on, guys."
The mediator.
I'm just happy that we can come back a year later and laugh at ourselves and not take it serious and make a whole skit about it.
Yes.
That was incredible. Really, really, really good.
Patrick, thank you for indulging us in
Yes.
our
Oh,
silliness.
no, that was hilarious.
Oh, we
you
love our
understand.
inside jokes around here.
Oh yes, we do. But yeah, well, the next thing that we should be expecting from dance. Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm
Anthony, next time you're out of this group.
Yeah.
I thought it was a skit for a second.
have
Do you know what I mean?
I don't want that to keep. I'll back out and handle that if I am. Let me see.
No, you're fine, bro. I'm just
No,
playing.
it's just, no. We'll see what.
I'm playing. But the next thing that we should be expecting from Dan's part is while we were filming all that and I was the director of photography on the actual skit, Dan was recording behind the scenes footage, and he has a ton of behind the scenes footage of like me and Jace directing it, us kind of like being silly or laughing, bloopers.
Is there like 5 hours worth of bloopers?
I don't know. Dan, it's probably like a good hour.
Yeah, we have some. Yeah, it was a lot.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so Dan's probably gonna get on that as soon as he can.
Yes.
And we'll send that to the YouTube sphere and have people laugh at that. Alrighty, guys, it is time to shoot the shit, baby.
All right.
Oh, mama. That's rock and
All
roll.
right,
Patrick, are you having a good time?
Hmm?
No.
I'm like, yes, I'm having an awesome time.
No, right.
This is absolute joy.
I was getting hot then. I was like, oh no.
No, I know. This is awesome. You guys are doing a kick-ass job.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick. We got Drew here. He says, which one of these 4 movies do you feel gets bashed for the dumbest reasons? People calling. Wait, Live Free or Die Hard. Wait, what?
I think which
hold
one
on.
of these 4 movies? What? Yeah, and this is giving us 4 films.
Which one of these 4 movies do you feel gets bashed for the dumbest reason? Live Free or Die Hard because of the PG-13 rating.
Yeah, it's terrible.
People calling The Incredible Hulk bad because Edward Norton is playing the Hulk.
It's not bad.
People calling The Maze Runner bad because the ending isn't as strong as the first 2/3. Or
one's good.
people calling Dark Knight Rises bad because it isn't as good as the Dark Knight. Okay. I think for me, I'd go with the Dark Knight Rises being bad because it isn't as good as the Dark Knight. Now, if you really think the Dark Knight Rises is bad and you have actual opinions here that you want to throw out, that's fine. I respect that opinion. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. But yeah, if you want to compare, I feel like you can't compare two movies and then that's why you don't like a movie. You can compare two movies casually, like as we're talking, like which one's better, this one or that one. I just feel if that makes you hate a movie because the last one was better, it's like you gotta judge it on its own merit still.
Yeah.
So I'd say The Dark Knight Rises.
That's a very good answer, John.
Thanks. What about you, Patrick?
I'm going to go with Live Free and Die Hard because anything that Mary Elizabeth Winstead's in can't be bad.
Well, have you seen Gemini Man?
Oh God, no.
No, but she's in it, so I'm sure it's great.
I did not like Gemini Man at all.
But she was good in it. I mean, you didn't like it, but if you took her out of it, you would hate it.
Okay. Oh, maybe Patrick, you may have something there. All right. What about you, Joe?
I'm going to say isn't as bad as people say. Is that the question?
Out of those four, like which one do you think has like the stupidest reason for people not liking it?
I'd say Dark Knight Rises as well, just because Heath Ledger was meant to be in it, but he passed away. So they done really well to think that quick. With like look at the skit you guys just made. Like, can you imagine making a 3-hour film that's made the type of trilogy when one of the main characters who was so great in the sequel passed away? Now you've got to think of a different story, and you've got to have it out in 2 years. So what they actually did was great. It's not as bad as The Dark Knight, but I think it was a good job.
I mean, The Dark Knight is so good that anything behind it was always going to be suffering. There was nothing anybody's going to do or come in behind and act that was going to come in and take the place of Heath Ledger and the second one. It was doomed to have lower expectations.
I personally think the Dark Knight trilogy owes a lot to Heath Ledger, because if you take Heath Ledger out of it, I don't think it's anything special, in my opinion.
Even Batman Begins, you weren't.
Yeah, Batman Begins is good, but I remember everyone skips that. Go straight to the dark. No one ever watches Batman Begins, but you can watch Dark Knight as a standalone film. It's that good. You haven't watched some films you think, I need to watch the first one first before I get into the second. I can just skip Batman Begins and not watch Dark Knight Rises and be happy with the standalone film that is the Dark Knight.
Okay.
What about you, Anthony?
I think that Incredible Hulk one caught me because I'm an Ed Norton fan. I have been for years. I thought he was great in that. I love Mark Ruffalo in that part as well. But yeah, I don't see what the issue is with Ed Norton. Maybe there's some behind the scenes stuff going on. But as far as what he did and the work that he put in, that was all pretty strong to me. I think he did really well there. But I have heard that, Drew brings up a good point. I have heard people say they weren't fans of Incredible Hulk because of Ed Norton. So that would be my pick from those four. And it's an interesting question too. Drew.
Yeah.
I never understood that because Ed Norton is an established actor who has done incredible performances even before the Incredible Hulk. What was the reasoning behind people being against him as Hulk?
I think what it was is, I should know what it was. He wanted more creative control over the story, and they were trying to obviously bring it towards the Avengers.
Well, I know that's the behind the scenes.
I think people blamed. It's like Terrence Howard in the first Iron Man. People kind of when you watch that film, you kind of it was that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? It's
I like Don Cheadle. I like Don Cheadle a lot. But man, I really, really wish Terrence Howard would have played the role.
Yeah,
I know,
Terrence
right?
Howard, he's such a phenomenal actor, and it's a real shame what happened to him. He got screwed. And it's a shame because nothing against Don Cheadle, because Don Cheadle, like I said, he's a fantastic actor as well. But it was almost like, Terrence Howard came in, he got the role, he defined it. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to see. It was hard to see him go.
I would love to have seen Michael Clark Duncan
Yeah.
do that role. Can you imagine that massive body with that massive suit? Like, because him and Iron Man look so similar. But if you had Michael Clark Duncan in like the what's it called? Oh, what's
War
his name?
Machine.
War Machine suit. Like that'd have been so cool. Because
Yeah,
you put
that
because on the comics and cartoon, he has these big turrets and stuff. And when I used to watch the Iron Man cartoon as a kid, I was like, I can't wait for War Machine. And then you like see like these little like Don Cheadle shoulders, and it's like pew pew. It's like no.
It's just that the only problem with that, it would have been fun, but he was actually too big because Rhodey is a Air Force officer. He flies jets, and Michael Clark Duncan does not look like a pilot at all.
He wouldn't fit in a cockpit.
Patrick, I wanted to see a scene with Thanos where he's like, "You want some cornbread, Mr. Thanos?"
But I mean, I thought Michael Clark Duncan was awesome as Kingpin. Yes, I mean, I was like, wow, that was just like a revelation. It was like, yeah, he got it. He was good as the Kingpin.
Dan, if you had to choose one.
Oh, I would just to give something different than you guys said, because it probably would have been my first choice. But the PG-13, just judging it. So say you didn't see the movie, and just being like, okay, the others are rated R, but this one's PG-13. That's stupid. Like that's dumb to me. But I haven't seen the movie, so I hear it's bad. But it's not the PG-13 rating maybe that made it bad.
I didn't help.
Yeah, I hear.
All right. So, how do we feel about getting to question number 4?
Let's do
First
this.
7 questions with Patrick.
Meow.
Well,
Nice. I like that one. Smooth.
all right. Patrick,
Yes.
how would you compare classic sci-fi versus modern sci-fi?
Ooh.
Wow.
That's a great question.
That's a great question. I like that question.
That's a really good
Come up with
question.
that question.
It's almost like some smart guy came up with that question.
Dan, you're a genius.
That's a Bronx question.
Oh, gee. I wrote the question.
Oh, okay.
Classic sci-fi versus modern sci-fi. As far as technology goes, definitely modern. I mean, it's really exciting to see, the tech now. I mean, in fact, someone showed a video on YouTube showing Superman, from Clark Kent changing over into Superman, and it started from the first one with the Christopher Reeve to Henry Cavill. Holy cow, light years. I mean, you look at the first one to the now, it's just like it's just nothing worth talking about. The one today, it just blows it away. It's so advanced. Story-wise, I mean, what is the cutoff for classic sci-fi? What year did you cut that off?
Good question.
Well, I'd probably say for me, like end of the 80s. Because because Terminator was like 92, and then like, does that make sense? It was in 91, so that was when like what's it?
Terminator?
Yeah, Terminator 1. No, Terminator 2. Sorry, that was when like CGI. I think anything that used CGI was like late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, I tend to think of like modern sci-fi. Like I'll think of like Annihilation, like stuff from like 2000s.
Yeah,
the latest Blade Runner movie, stuff like that, like Blade Runner 2049.
And like June.
What if we cut it off at 2020? I mean that's
sure.
It's so subjective because because Anthony probably knows where I'm going with this, because my favorite science fiction series I ever watched was the Outer Limits remake.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and that has so many great stories in that. That's really what makes it so much like the Twilight Zone. That's what makes the Twilight Zone so classic is the stories.
Yeah.
But I think I would go with classic because I think it set the table.
Okay.
We wouldn't have what we have today without Star Wars or Star Trek or Outer Limits or any of those.
as
You
well.
know, you have Godzilla. You got to throw Godzilla. We wouldn't have
Yeah.
kaiju without that. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, I go with classic science fiction.
What do you think is the main difference between a classic sci-fi and modern sci-fi? What's changed? What is it about modern sci-fi that you look at and go, "Oh yeah, classic didn't have that," and vice versa?
No, the special effects.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
Yeah,
do
I think
so
that's-
much
That's the
more
big
now.
one, yeah.
Yeah, that's the main
Yeah,
one.
it's all about it's all about that. I mean, the acting, I would give acting a draw because there's been some great performances in today's modern science fiction, and there's been some fantastic ones in the older ones. I mean, the ones in the older ones, you have to really almost give them a slight edge because of what they had to work with. You go back and you watch some of those sci-fis, you know, like the thing from underneath the tree, or the giant Gila monster, and you have to look at that and look at those guys. They're giving it, they're acting, where it could be so easy just to absolutely ham it up, but you see them trying to give it all, and they had god awful, I don't even know if they did even having green screen to work against.
Yeah.
They got told, okay, you're gonna be scared because you just heard your buddy got eaten by a giant Gila monster. Now act against that. I mean, you don't have anything to go against, and
Yeah.
so yeah, I would actually go with classic sci-fi, and even the acting. I mean, they had some really bad movies, but acting was pretty consistently good.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
And the performances fit for the time back then, right?
Yeah.
It was a different style, but it was fitting.
Anthony,
yeah, I don't know, yeah.
since you came up with all these questions, I'd like to hear your answer here.
Me,
yeah,
sure.
but the what's the main component for you, man? What's so different about its themes and messages? Maybe if you want to touch on that.
You know what? I think you pretty much said it right there. I do feel like a lot of those, if we're talking about Twilight Zone, which I can't go more than 5 minutes without talking about. I feel like those social commentaries were handled a little bit better in older films, and in modern films, it's sometimes it's shoved out there a little bit more, and some people really hate that. They don't like that if there's too much of a play. Not that there's necessarily even anything wrong with it, but some people don't like if the commentary is hammered over your head. Whereas back in the day, if it was a commentary on the Cold War or anything having to do with social commentary, it was there, but you could still enjoy the movie on its own. I don't know. So that's sort of like my main component. But Patrick brought up a great point too about the effects. I'll just say one quick thing about that. Yeah, a lot of the older stuff has a certain charm to it, and if the story is good enough, then I just go with it. Even if it's a hokey little monster or it's some cheesy looking guy in a costume, I don't care. I think it's kind of cool. But if the story's falling apart, then I find I start getting a little more nitpicky, and I'm like, and now it's like not working at all for me, because now the guy in a rubber suit is bothering me, and now it's not working at all. So that's one thing. Like a lot of modern movies will get the edge because the effects are usually pretty awesome. CGI. I'm the biggest geek when it comes to practical effects, but CGI is awesome too. So yeah, that's my rant on that.
I think there's something though. Dan will be back. I think there's something to be said though. I want to see if you guys agree or disagree. But there is something about modern day sci-fi that's, I don't know if it's lacking or dead inside or dying. The genre is like dying.
I don't think it's dying. I just think that I think a lot of imagination's gone. Like, look at Doctor Who. Like, what someone sat down and thought, hey, we're gonna have a guy that travels through space and time, traveling in a police box. You would never get that now because the imagination's gone. People think it's sci-fi. They just think they just animate some spaceships. But it's like there's a reason. Like Anthony said, there's a story. There's a reason why Star Wars took off and other sci-fi films of that era didn't. It's because of the story. Look at like shows like Land of the Giants, and I used to watch when I was younger and stuff. Like you look at it now and you think, oh, it looks so fake with people getting to scream with a big ginger cat in the background trying to chase him. But you're pulled in by the characters and the story, and that's why when everyone says like, oh, but the effects so much better now, and it's like, yeah, but look at Jason and the Argonauts, like Ray Harryhausen's stuff with all his stop motion, like that's better than the most recent Oh, what's that film? The Medusa, the recent one they made, Clash of the Titans.
Oh, for Clash of the Titans,
Yeah,
yeah.
like the
Jeez.
original, the old Clash of the Titans is so much better
Yeah.
in the remake, and it was all done with stop motion and the acting and just the environment. Like when you watch a film like Jason and the Argonauts, you feel like you're in that film because it's
Yeah.
real. You can touch things.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like
Yeah.
Star Wars, for example, with the trench run, that was all done with like practical effects. But now
Yeah.
they can just use CGI, and I think they've got lazy with.
Here's the thing too about Star Wars. You mentioned about the trench, like, you know, even when you saw the movie, and you saw that scene on there, it looked. Now I have to, anybody who's honest with themselves, Star Wars fans or not, they will tell you that yes, the first attack on the Death Star, it did look very much like a model. It did, but
I like that.
nobody cared. Because it was all about the story. Everybody was so invested if Luke will come in, and everybody's just holding their breath, waiting for Han to come in to save the day. And we weren't disappointed. And who cares? Now, if you go back and watch it today, and you might, it's like any movie. You go back and watch it today, and you see things. But you know what? It didn't matter when you saw it the first time. So why should it matter now?
Yeah.
You should try to really strive hard. And I say this to all the younger fans. Really fight hard to maintain your sense of wonder. Don't always look for the wizard behind the door. That's why they have special features for.
Yeah.
But not during watching the movie. Pay attention to the story. That's the most important thing.
100%, Patrick. That's a great way of putting it. I for one, I've always been a proponent of that. The technicalities, they're fun to mention.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't ruin a movie unless it's that bad, right? Unless it's like, holy crap, this is the worst thing I ever seen. But most of the time it's not that. Technicality should not ruin the movie for you. It is story over everything.
Yeah.
I've always said that. It is story over everything. I would forgive any of its technicalities as long as it has a well-written story and the direction is well executed. That's all that matters. Why are you here talking about like this looks fake or that CGI doesn't look as good? And I'm sure like it's fun to mention.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't ruin the movie if the writing and direction are great.
Well said. I think that's a lot of surface level stuff that people are focusing on when they're watching these movies, right? It's all surface level. This looks fake. That looks fake. All right. What, like Patrick said, let's look at the story though. What is the story saying? That's the important part, isn't it? It's not like if you can see the zipper on the monster's costume or something. Although I get that may take you out of the movie a little bit, but it's the story. It's all about the story.
Patrick, we got Andre Southgate. He says, "Greetings, Half Cheetah Review here listening."
All right.
Yeah, Andre's a great guy.
Nice.
If you guys haven't followed his channel, you guys should. He's a fantastic guy.
Absolutely. Nice. And then here's a question from Drew. Oh, Joe will be right back. Here's a question from Drew. He says, out of all the films that have come out this year, which films do you have a chance of getting nominated for Best Picture? Well, Drew, it's funny you asked this question because right here on the Cinema Squad channel, it is we are currently in season 2 of Off to the Races, where it's me, Dan, and Shawn, and we go through the awards race leading up to the Oscars, and we give our predictions of what we think is not only going to be nominated for Best Picture, but the acting categories, the screenplay category. Soon, we're going to talk about the below-the-line categories like animated feature, all the technical categories, and our predictions there. Episode 2, the November's episode, should be coming out within the next day or two. So be expecting that. I don't want to spoil it only because we'll have that video for you the next 24 to 48 hours. So I don't want to spoil it. But I will say, right, just because we've talked about it way too much, Everything Everywhere All at Once is up there. It's going to be there. We talk about it. Everybody on this freaking, like, the Cinema Squad talks about it way too much. It's going to be there. A24 for the win, right, Patrick?
I can't argue with that one. That everybody I've talked to says that's a fantastic film. Nice. I mean, I hope Michelle Yeoh gets a Best Actress nomination out of it. I mean, You know, if she doesn't, it doesn't mean anything. You know, because she's, you know, she deserves it.
I think she will. I think she will.
Um,
Can't wait for you to watch it though, Patrick. I hope you do a review.
I will.
On that.
You know, as a matter of fact, I mean, I'm thinking about. I'm looking at it right now. I'm thinking after the show here will be a good time for me to crack it out.
Ah, okay, cool.
Ooh, nice.
Guys, we got Dragon Movie Guy.
Hey.
Brian, what's up? Love the show, guys. Can't wait to see Patrick.
Yes.
All of us can't wait to see Patrick, man.
I'm sorry the Cheetah hasn't come up yet.
Well, he did have a moment in the beginning.
Yes, he did.
So that's good. That's good. Let's see. Trying to stay relevant here with these questions. You know what I mean? All right. So, well, a lot of Batman talk, especially from Eric.
Yeah.
Eric loves Batman.
Speaking of which,
Eric
Answers here about like, you know, the whole like live free or die hard, Ed Norton and the Hulk, all that type of stuff. So I think let's have one more question and then we'll get to Patrick's next question after that.
Okay.
Dragon Movie Guy says, if a younger Tom Hanks, 30 to 40 years old, were to join the MCU, who would you like to see him play? Younger.
Reed Richards.
Ooh, good one. That's a good one.
Hey, that was a quick answer and a good answer.
Mhm.
You steal that answer.
Hey, John. There's our friend John from Grande's Graveyard. That now you talk about a guy who has knowledge. That kid has knowledge. He needs to be on this show.
Really?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
He needs to be on this show.
Nice.
John is fantastic.
John is an awesome guy. Highly recommend him. Everybody listening to this, sub to this guy's channel.
Yes.
Reed Richards. I can't see anything else once you said it, Patrick.
Yeah, true. It's sort of stuck in my head now.
Yeah, me neither.
That's a great answer. I'm with it, Patrick.
Of course, you know I also have to caveat with another. If I had an A pick and a B pick, I would say Reed Richards as A. But then again, he could play with Dr. Walter Newell and play Stingray, and I'd go with that too.
Well, I know you love Stingray.
Stingray's the shit.
Interweb Kaiju says modern sci-fi is usually very low on science and very high on mindless action. I agree. I gotta say, I know there are outliers and everything, but when it comes, maybe that's why I was so harsh on it a second ago, like saying it's dying and stuff, because it is very high on mindless action and low on the actual science.
Yeah.
When the Star Trek movies were rebooted, this happened with the Star Trek movies. And I actually don't hate those movies. I actually like them anyway. But a lot of the sci-fi got lost with the movies with Chris Pine. And as a fan of the old classic TV show, that was a bit of a bummer. I would have liked to have seen stuff with some, because any one of those old classic episodes with William Shatner, there were these great little stories, and the movies just sort of, they went more the action route. They went more the mindless action route.
Gotcha.
So yeah, he's definitely right about that.
Dragon Movie Guy is saying that classic sci-fi, I think old school day of Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yeah.
And then after Star Wars would be modern. What do you think, Patrick?
Let's see. What sci-fi? What's the OOLLDDS?
Oh, well, he's saying the old school
okay.
Day the Earth Stood Still. And then modern is anything after Star Wars.
I guess I don't know. I still like the idea of cutting it off in 2000. I do.
Oh, we lost you, Patrick.
Did we lose Patrick? All right. Well, hopefully we get him back.
He's just taking a deep breath.
No. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
I can hear you.
I would keep the 2000 mark as far as between modern science fiction and classic. That way you include. That way you can actually include. You can include both trilogies in. And I want to say I think the prequels came after that. I could be wrong about that too, but at least you could include the first 3 Star Wars movies.
Yeah, Blade Runner too. You get the original Blade Runner movie, then you get the new Blade Runner movie. If you go,
Right. The first Blade, the original Blade Runner movie is fantastic. I mean, it's really that's a critical movie. I mean, if you're a science fiction, because there's a lot of science fiction in it. You also have movies such as The Andromeda Strain. You also have movies such as oh boy, there's a couple of other ones too I can mention right off the top of my head. You got the Planet of the Apes.
Mm-hmm.
You got that. I mean, gosh, if you really think about it, there is a lot, overwhelmingly amount of science fiction and classic. And you're right. The new science fiction is, they use that same tech, the same effects to make all these sparkly lights, and then they hide that. That's probably the closest thing they get to the actual science is that.
Yeah.
I can't really think of too many science fiction movies where it's just been driven by the science.
Yeah.
Interstellar, Gravity,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
With Planet of the Apes, that's an interesting comparison too. Like, I feel like with the original movies, there was a lot more sci-fi there, and with the new ones, it was a lot more action. But in that case, I didn't mind. I actually loved the new Planet of the Apes trilogy. I thought those were really good.
I did too.
Yeah.
I like the one that Tim Burton did. I did not hate that one.
Okay. All
The
right.
Planet of the Apes one, really?
Yeah, I did not hate it. Yeah, I actually enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Drew talks here that classic sci-fi like Terminator 2 actually balance a compelling story with amazing action. Would you guys consider Terminator 2 classic sci-fi?
I think I think some of the other movies that came after it, I think that Terminator, the first Terminator, needed to, like, they showed the world as it was, and I think they needed to do that more. It's one of those cases where you really do wish that they would actually have done a prequel. I don't like prequels too much myself, but I think in this case, I think if you had done it like they tried to do it with Judgment Day,
Yeah.
which I really appreciate. That's why Judgment Day, I have a lot of love for Judgment Day. I think it's a good movie. It's a good Terminator movie, and I like that, so you can actually see how everything got started. How because otherwise, you're right. A lot of the Terminator ones, it's just all action, and it's just like, we got a cyborg. That's all you're gonna get for science fiction, but that's it. That's all you're gonna get. You're not gonna get a story behind it or anything else. I like the first Terminator because it did show that. It did show the world that we came from.
Yeah. I also love it because it leans into the horror element too a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's another reason I'm a fan of that one.
Patrick, just so you know, we hear you clearly, but your picture is frozen.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's a nice picture, so we're good to go.
It's a nice picture. You look very happy.
Okay.
You look like you're about to laugh. But we hear you clearly, so you're good on that part.
Okay. You want me to back out and come back in?
Oh, it's up to you at this point because we can hear you clearly. So it's up to you.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
All right.
If the cheetah comes in, I'll fix it.
Okay, sounds good. I guess I'll throw this to you guys because I actually haven't seen Terminator Salvation, but Drew's asking if you find any redeeming qualities in it. He's talking about the visuals are good and the action isn't too bad.
I haven't seen it either.
That one for me, it's just Christian Bale. Like, sometimes it's like, I'm a big fan of Christian Bale too. I'm not a fan of that movie per se. Christian Bale knocks it out of the park though with that. There's a lot of movies and TV shows that are like that for me, where like maybe it's not the best movie or TV show, but you stick that
Christian
one actor
Bale.
or actress into it, and it kind of hooks you at least because you still get an awesome performance, and he kicks ass in that movie, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, at least for me. Yeah.
Well, we got a question for Anthony.
Let's see.
If you could have any Twilight Zone episode adapted into any MCU solo film, which character would you do it for? And which Twilight episode?
Oh, I would probably, maybe he would be considered overpowered, but little Anthony Fremont from an episode called It's a Good Life, where he's pushing people into the cornfield. I'd like to see him go head to head with Wanda. Let's see who's going to win that battle.
Oh my,
Who gets pushed into the cornfield first in that case?
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, I love that. Good question, Dragon movie guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Joe's back.
Joe. Yo,
Hey,
Joe.
Joe.
Bit of a I literally my table collapsed.
Joe.
Oh, jeez. Wait, your table collapsed, you said?
Yeah, literally everything I'm on. I went to go to the toilet and I kicked the leg, and literally because of the room I have for this table, it's not about that big, like same size of the screen, and it's like one of those ones where you have like an ironing board, you have to hook it up like in a crisscross, like and you fold it out, and I kicked the leg out, and the whole thing, everything's been dum 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 dum. And I was like, oh no. So this is why my glasses are on, so I could be like, I was like, where is everything? I'm blind. But where's Patrick gone?
He's still here.
He is still here, I believe.
You can
I
hear
can't
him.
see him.
You can't see him, or he's frozen because he's frozen
No,
for us.
I could just see a black screen, and I can see you guys.
Okay.
Oh no!
For me, I'm getting the picture, but I don't.
same.
Yeah,
Let me just come back out. I'll come back in.
Okay.
Joe.
Yeah?
When did you get an Art the Clown life size thing behind you?
What? What are you talking about?
When did you get an Art the Clown life size model behind you?
You're dead.
Behind
You're
you.
going to die.
I'm scared now.
Behind you, Joe. Behind you. No, behind you. I thought you were gonna turn around and go, Xanthi.
Turn around, Xanthi.
Oh,
Everywhere you
my.
go, I will go too.
All right. I think Patrick's back. Yes, he is. Hi, Patrick.
Yes.
Oh, welcome back. Welcome back.
All right.
All right, Patrick.
Hi, neighbor.
Patrick. We have a 2-for-1 for Patrick. Because if you guys are joining us today, we're doing 7 questions with Patrick.
Meow, 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 meow.
That's a good one too.
Good meows.
Yes.
This is a 2-for-1. I'll start off with the quick and easy one. Patrick, will you be celebrating your 1K milestone? And if so, how so?
I'll probably do like a round table, like, like maybe open it up and let people come on in and there's rotating guests.
Nice.
Because everybody's invited, everybody should be invited because I wouldn't be here without everybody, coming in and subbing to the channel. So yeah, I definitely would do that. I will not be monetizing my channel, nor will I be doing memberships for that. I won't be doing that. I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like the idea of YouTube making me ask my friends to pay for my channel. Whereas they're the ones making money off my channel. They're making money off of it, so they should be paying me, not the people who sub.
Yeah, that's the whole membership thing, right?
Yeah. So I'm not about that. And I've seen some of the creators, I've seen some of their tiers they have and all that other thing. And yeah, it's a turnoff to
I thought you meant tears as in actual tears. I was like, oh no. What happened?
No, not tier, no, it's just tiers, levels. Like this, people they'll have 3 levels of membership.
Like a Patreon kind of thing, tier 1, 2, and 3, and that kind of thing.
Patreon is a little bit different because you're basically, Patreon's not making money off of me. They're not I'm not on their server. They're not making money off me. So if I put a Patreon on there, people wanted to donate, they could. But YouTube is making money off me.
Yeah,
making money of us all. So why aren't they paying us? Why are they turning around and asking us to, oh yeah, get it, and then because you hear people say this too, and the thing is, there's several channels like this. They'll sit there, well, thank you for your super chat or thank you for your donation. It'll really help the channel. Well, that's awesome, but what about the people who aren't there? What about our channel? Are you sending me money too? Are you turning around and taking your $50 super chat and saying, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to split this in 5s. I'm going to donate to 5 other channels that aren't here yet. But I'm going to donate some of my money for them to help their channel. You don't
Well,
see that.
Patrick, before you if you make money off YouTube, but there's a really good bank called Liberty Bank. It was on an advert I watched the other day when I was watching Jimmy.
Was it Tubi?
Tubi.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? It's just not really fair to you're making money. The ads are you run ads on all of our channels, so you're making money off of it, and then turn around and sit there and say, well, we'll pay me the money, we'll pay you pennies. Now they want you to do reels. Yeah, if you get a $10 million reel, 15 seconds or more, because we're trying to be like Instagram now. You might be able to get monetized sooner, and then you might get a pennies. I've seen people say I gotten paid by YouTube. Oh yeah, what'd you get? I got 15 cents.
I think but there's like a South Park reference in. I got free fitty.
I mean, I guess it's it's a comfortability. To me, it's like if you feel comfortable, although I don't necessarily recommend it. But if you have comfortable enough with it and you have an address or whatnot, you can sit there and tell people, if you feel like you'd like to donate, you can contact me privately on my Instagram. If you want to send me a card or something like that, I'm more than happy to take that. That's very nice of you. But you don't have to do that. I'm not asking for it. But if you want to donate that way, that'd be awesome. I will acknowledge that when I get it. And then, that's great. But you know what? But you better be prepared to pay it forward. You do that. If someone does that for you, you got to be able to do it for somebody else.
You should just do buymeacoffee.com. That's a good one to do.
Yeah, that's a good one. I heard that one's pretty good. I heard that's pretty good. Yeah, see, John's mentioning it here. Says, charge your followers for me to review stuff. Sort of slimy, in my opinion, but it's really popular. Yeah, people. Yeah. That's right. Now people are doing that. Now they're sitting there going like, yeah, whoever donates the most, they'll get to pick the movie that I'm going to review. What?
Yeah, it's something, dude.
Yeah.
Patrick, this sounds like a really good modern day sci-fi. Maybe I think you're onto something. Maybe get a name.
Well, that's what John mentioned, and we have seen it. I was in the music business for 10 years, and there's a term that we used back then. It was called pay to play. And that is, if you wanted to play, you had to pay to do so. And that's not right. It is
Patrick was gangster. I knew it.
Yeah, I knew it.
But as far as 1,000, I hope to get it sometime next year, obviously. If it happens, like I said, I'll just I'll do 1,000. I'll do a sub party, and then I'll just we'll do like a 3-hour show, and I'll try to rotate as many people as I can.
1,000 guests.
Yeah, night of 1,000 guests.
That'd be wicked.
All your subscribers.
One by one.
Oh, that'll be great. Okay, so Patrick, I said 2 for 1. So here's your next question.
Oh.
I know you've mentioned this a couple times. Why do you think horror fans sometimes root for the killer?
Well, that's a really good question. I mean,
it's a great question.
It is a great question, and I think it's. I mean, it's a really heavy question too, because you wonder, does it speak to the person's personality? Is that the type of person that there is? Like, do you a lot of, it's no secret that a lot of horror fans and or whatnot. Well, they're also fans of something else too. They like their firepower. Like action adventure fans, they like their firepower. I think part of it goes into that. Part of it goes into that they don't have any power in their real lives, so they transfer that to the killer. Kill, because they're always, a lot of times there's figures of authority in the movies that are getting killed too, as well. Sometimes you'll see a cop get killed, and everybody claps for it. Are they clapping because the cop got killed, or are they clapping because on the way to the movie they got stopped by a cop for a speeding ticket, and that's and transferring. And everybody has that, like all the final girls are always the most wholesome, the ones that don't drink or smoke or have sex. So they have that Puritan image, you know, the ideal wrapped around them. And you know, you can kill anybody but that. You know, you can't kill the Puritan.
That's
but then
interesting.
Yeah, it's I you know, it's I don't know, because when I watch a slasher movie, you know, and I watched the Friday the 13th, and I watched them all, and it's sometimes some of the characters, sometimes you do it for them to die. They're not, that's one of the things that's one of the things the filmmaker has to do. That has to establish an asshole, like the guy in the Friday the 13th remake, the main guy. He had to die. He was an asshole. He let his friends die. He was selfish. He cheated on his girlfriend. So when he got hooked up on the truck, nobody's sitting there going, "That's fucked up." Everybody's sitting there. They didn't care. They want him to go.
What do you think about that, Patrick, though? When you have a killer who is obviously the villain of a horror film and he kills another, like an ass, like you said, like an asshole. What do you feel about that? Like, do you feel like it's like a double negative? It's like it does nothing does nothing for me.
Yeah, because it's like you're rooting for a killer against a killer. It's like like the guy who killed Jeffrey Dahmer in prison. Like he wanted to come out there. He thought he was going to be treated as a hero. Why would I treat you as a hero for killing Jeffrey Dahmer? Because what separates you from him? Yeah. I mean, well, I didn't eat them. Well, you know what? They were dead when he did it. They were dead. He killed a living human being. You did the same thing. Where's your justification? I don't understand that. It's like I don't. It's well, you know what? I can use this to launch on what I wanted to talk about too earlier. Earlier this week, we heard Candace Bure talk about how she did an interview with the Wall Street Journal, and in it she says, they asked her, because Hallmark and GCA are two competing channels, and one is doing, they're all doing making Christmas movies. That's what they're famous for.
Yeah.
Candace Bure was on the Hallmark channel, and then they left because they started including more and more. They went diverse, so they started their own channel, and they're saying they're doing more faith-based movies. And she was quoted as saying that she wanted to do stories based on more traditional marriage. My question is, what is traditional? What does that mean? What does that mean? I mean, a traditional to who? To you? And what does that mean? I mean, traditional. We used to marry. Back in the day, people were allowed to marry their own kin. They were allowed to marry underage. They were allowed to. Interracial marriages were not allowed. They were outlawed. So, what does traditional mean? And the same thing with the killers in the slasher movies. You go around and you're killing all these people, but what does that mean? Are we supposed to applaud you for what? Why are we celebrating it? Why do we go to the movies and celebrate people losing their lives? Why are we celebrating a culture that was so divisive and so destructive back in the 40s and 50s and up to the 60s? Why are you looking backwards when you should be looking forwards? I know, how do we like that? Traditional weddings and slasher movies, but really they do walk hand in hand. It's still the same dynamic. I guess everybody here has to answer that question. It's like, what do you get out of a horror movie when you sit down for it? Are you looking for a body count? I mean, if that's what you're looking for, awesome. If that's what you're there for, if you're there to root for the final girl, that's great. If you're there to look at the badass killer, I mean, I always look for the final fight. I always want to see the final fight. That's what I go to slasher movies for. I want to see how many people can survive it.
Yeah.
And how they do it. The worst thing for me as a slasher movie fan, and it's happened a couple of times, is where the director has gotten the cast so good that they're all likable. Everybody on screen is likable. And then when you start seeing them die, it really takes you out of the movie because you get upset seeing those people die. If the filmmaker has told the story that you've had some invested in characters, like that's how I look at movies. I don't look at it just as the surface. I try to give everybody I look at. I hope they have a backstory. And a lot of actors will tell you that. They'll sit there and tell you that I went there and I created a backstory for my character, because they have to bring that character to life. And they have to tell that you have to, like a beautiful case in point, Drew Barrymore at Scream. Look at her. Fully fleshed out character. We knew who Sydney was. We knew what she was about. 17-year-old girl, high school, popular, good girl, everything else, right? And then we proceeded to watch her get slaughtered during the next 10 minutes and die in front of her parents. And yet here we are looking at that and going like, that was awesome. And Drew Barrymore saying, yeah, you can kill me off for the first time. That's fine. That's fine. But if you really take a look at that scene, it's totally fucking, it's ruinous. It's a really disturbing scene. I don't understand. I never understand how everybody likes that scene. I get lost in it.
No.
I'm honest with you. I can't watch that scene. That's just brutal. But it's subjective, I guess. You know, it's subjective to what people, get out of a horror film.
I think the people like that scene because they thought Drew Barrymore was going to be the star, so it subverted expectations.
But don't you think that would make people more upset though? Because Drew Barrymore was a very popular actress. She's a popular person too. At that point, in her career. And I know they did it for the twist value, like we're going to twist it up and then do that, right? But I still think there were still a lot of people there. Like when I watched the movie when it came out in the theater and she got killed, it wasn't anybody going like, "Oh shit, all right," like thumbs up. They were sitting there like looking at each other like, "What did we just watch?"
Yeah.
And the manner of her dying. If it had been like in the first, Halloween where the guy got stuck on the refrigerator, and then he walks out and she's just staying there, maybe. But her death was really drawn out and very painful. And I think a lot of people just were like, they were just shocked at that, at the violence of it.
I would say with that scene as well, Patrick, I think that scene in particular, the stabbing noises sounded so realistic. Like you could almost feel it go, you could feel every puncture of that knife. And I think that made it even more horrific watching that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how close she was from the parents as well.
Right.
Turning up. It's this is interesting. Literally, I can listen to Patrick talk all day about rooting for her, why not, and the psychology behind it. It's well interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
More. No.
I've heard you talk about this before, Patrick. So I know I don't know maybe how comfortable you are one way or the other with talking, but you have some fascinating thoughts on it, and I can't help but agree with you on a lot of this stuff. And you made me start thinking about some of this stuff in a different way when I heard you talking about this. I forget which movie you were reviewing or for it was a stream, but you were mentioning some of the stuff you're saying now, and it made me start thinking about things in a different way about like how we do go into these movies and eventually we're celebrating the killer. We saw that with the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise.
Right.
I feel like early on it was just like, oh my God, Freddy Krueger's horrible. But by the time we get around part 3, part 4, we're rooting for Freddy. And
look what Freddy Krueger is. Yeah, here we are. Freddy Krueger went from being a child molesting killer, and by the third one, he's dropping one-liners, and we're sitting there. That Freddy, what a character, what a clown, what a hoot.
Yeah.
And they forgot his origin. They forgot totally his whole origin, what he was. He shouldn't be celebrated on any level. But here we are, waiting for that Freddy to come up there cracking those one-liners. It's prime time, bitch. Oh, Freddy, what a character. But then again, but how did he get where he got?
Yeah.
I
think you nailed it. I think it's about the evolution. In that case, for that scenario, it's like the evolution of that character. Maybe it's because they swung him in that direction, and as audiences, like we just started going with it. I shouldn't say we, not everybody did, but yeah, maybe that's what it is. It's just that they moved away from the darker tones and they went, more lighthearted almost, I guess. And that's what happened there. Is that happening with the Terrifier movies or because those movies are pretty brutal too.
Yeah.
So,
you go ahead.
No, that's it. I was just gonna say, there is a new slasher villain in town, Art the Clown, and and I don't know if people are necessarily are we cheering on Art already? Are we at that point?
I think part of Art, honestly, I'll tell you what it is with Art too. Art reminds me of a character we talked about earlier in the stream, and that's that's Black Phillip. Because when we see Black Phillip, we see him running around acting silly, acting like a goat, kicking his feet. I mean, it's a funny ass scene. And I think with Art, he comes out and he's a mime, but he does so much acting with his face. We know what Art's about, and I think that we accept him more because we don't take him seriously. Whereas Freddy Krueger, his background is he's a child molester killer. Jason's background is he was a 12-year-old boy that was left to die by unattentive counselors. Michael Myers, we don't, he was 6 years old and something went haywire in his brain. We don't know what happened to it. What we do know, if he was institutionalized, we know what he went through. We know he was going to go through electric shock therapy and everything else. So we actually can understand their background. We can not necessarily justify it, but we or condone it, but we understand it. Whereas Freddy, someone like Freddy or Ghostface, it's like, no, there's no justification for what you're doing. We can't have any sympathy at all for you because there's nothing there to have sympathy for. So why should we give those characters that? I mean, especially people who have no skin in the game.
I think, in my opinion, it's like mankind, there's always been idols, and I think like horror villains, almost like the Greek gods of our day. Like if you look at Zeus, he wasn't great at all. If you look at Odin or Thor, they're pretty. If you know about the Greek gods and Nordic gods, they're terrible. But they were idols once upon a time. And I think with people like Hellraiser or like Pinhead, Freddy Krueger, Jason, Art the Clown, and so on and so on, I think everyone has like models of them or T-shirts of them. They've become almost like Greek stories, like Greek mythology, but horror mythology. So they go beyond the normal man. They go beyond what we like. It's like when you see Zeus throw down his thunderbolt, we know that's not real. When we see Jason as a zombie, we know that's not real. But we idolize him in that stratosphere. If that makes any kind of sense.
No, absolutely, because we do that with our superhero movies too. That those are our modern gods and goddesses, right? The superhero movies. So
exactly,
horror,
Like except for the horror, we go watch the superhero movies because we're always expecting, we're always rooting for the hero in the superhero movies. Like we go watch Superman, we're rooting for Superman. We go to a Friday the 13th or a Scream movie, and here we are, we're rooting for people to slaughter people. It's like the other, like I mentioned before, the other side, we're going to do just traditional weddings. We're just going to do a man and a woman that both have to be white. We're going everybody else, it doesn't count anymore. We're not going to include them anymore because they don't count.
Yeah.
And it's like, the same thing. Well, we don't care about the people that Michael Myers is slaughtering or Ghostface is, because they don't matter. Their lives don't matter. Only thing that matters is that they get killed in really inventive and bloody ways.
What I was going to say to you, Patrick, that he said a wedding in a modern day wedding in a horror. There's a film called Ready or Not. You may have heard of it. That's probably closest you're going to get to it. But that's me, though.
Yeah. Being a fan of horror these days, it's not black and white like it used to be, is it? Like before it'd be like good versus evil, but it's not. It's pretty complex these days.
Yeah.
But like true crime documentaries on Netflix, they're the most watched things. Why? It's like people got
Yeah.
this fascination with death and murder and things that go wrong,
Yeah.
as opposed
And
to
it's-
good and like
it's
bad
tapping
news
into
is
something.
sells more.
Yeah.
The primal side. Man, this
That
is
it
getting deep. I like him.
Yeah.
Welcome to Shooting the Shit on a Friday night.
Is it time for the human centipede section or
the butthole section?
Now back to buttholes.
No, for your regular scheduled program.
Judy Dench, bend over and show us your butthole.
Ooh. Give her the Oscar. Give her the Oscar.
Yeah.
I bet she won the Oscar as well.
We got some more comments, and
Yeah.
so I want to get through just some of those, and then like to end the stream with Patrick's very last question. Hopefully we can get in and out as soon as possible. Like in a
That's what she
butthole.
I'm sorry, John, if I went on my soapbox. I was just trying to...
No, you're
No,
fine,
no,
man. You
that's
added
brilliant.
you added a part of the discussion that many people in the chat enjoyed, and
Yeah.
I know on rewatch it's
Yeah.
very rewatchable. Absolutely. Yeah,
I love that topic. It's so fascinating.
Yeah, don't feel sorry for that at all, Patrick. I appreciate that.
Don't be sorry. Just be better.
If you can add like buttholes next time, that would be cool. Guys, we got Tyra from Struggles
Hey.
Review. She says, "Hey,
Hey.
guys, what is
What
up? What is up?" Here's another funny thing. We're talking about world stuff. Who's causing the rapid and permanent death of their organization faster? Russell Wilson with the Denver Broncos or Elon Musk and Twitter?
Man, that's a horror story all in itself, isn't it?
You really think Twitter's gonna fall though?
He's doing his best to make it happen.
I don't know, man. Maybe. I just Twitter of all things.
I'm not on Twitter.
No, me either. I'm not on Twitter either.
I use it occasionally just to post stuff.
It's such a cesspool, and then you expected. He said he was going to come in there, and I don't think he wanted to buy it. I think he opened his mouth too much, and he got locked into the deal, and then he couldn't get his way out. I mean, I don't think he wants to be there.
No, I don't think. I think. I don't think that at all. I think he could have pulled out, but I think he just done it to piss everyone off. You know what I mean? Because
he's not having any fun. He's not having fun.
He's not. Oh no.
No, I don't think he's having fun at all. He wants to be popular. That's what he wants. He's a narcissist. He's a classic narcissist. He wants to be popular.
So stuck with the cars. Should have stuck with the cars.
Yeah. Should have.
Congratulations to Patrick for that 1K milestone coming soon.
I hope so.
Oh yeah.
I'm 132 away. So
you'll get there, Patrick. Yeah, you'll get there. Concerning Patrick talking about the whole membership thing for YouTube, charge your followers for me to review stuff, sort of slimy. But it's really popular. Nothing wrong with it, but I just don't think I'd ever do it. It is very popular. A lot of people that are up there in numbers, they do that membership thing, and I never really understood it until tonight when Patrick kind of broke it down for me. I never understood that whole membership thing. I wouldn't do it. I just find that weird. Maybe this is wrong with me, but I don't even do Patreon for people.
Yeah. I mean, no. I mean, I looked at some tiers, and there was one channel sitting there, and they're sitting there like they basically said, you know, if you want to come on my panel, it'll cost you $50 a month.
Oh,
$50, guaranteed you his panel spot. Wow. Okay. Wow.
That's more than OnlyFans.
jeez.
Yeah. No, that's right here on the. It's right here. I've seen that. I've seen that. You know, like $25. $25, and I'll review a movie that you pick.
Oh, come on now.
Yep.
Wow. Dragon movie guy for Dan. What classic sci-fi movie do you think would be perfect fit for the 4DX experience? Tyra says 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Or Alien. Yeah, I was gonna say Aliens. Alien or Aliens would be really cool. An old Star Wars movie. or a new one, whatever. Shoot, I had one when I saw this question, and I can't remember.
Starship Troopers.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
No, T2 would be fun, I think. Terminator 2, since we were talking about that earlier.
Happy anniversary to Starship Troopers.
Oh, really?
Hey,
25
would you
years
like to know more?
Yes. I'm doing my part.
Starship Troopers.
Thanks for the question.
I love that movie. Is so much fun. It holds up.
It came
so
out in 98, didn't it? I was 12 when it came out.
97. Yeah.
I was in 97 because I was in Gran Canaria talking to some kid about it when it first came out.
Yeah,
I think
wow.
I think Dina Meyer made a deal with Black Phillip because she hasn't aged at all.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
Struggles Review saying, I never imagined I received money for my content either, but it motivated me so much to be supported in that capacity because your subs know YouTube doesn't offer much. It's actually been amazing, but I also understand not being comfortable with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Like to each their own type thing. For
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. I wouldn't do it because it's just a hobby. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much where as far as it goes.
I don't know how I think you have to get well, now who knows? But I mean, I know that now. I've seen people have gotten to be about. It seems to be like 30 to 40,000, where they feel they can actually quit and just work off of YouTube. YouTube.
Yeah.
But that's again, you have to put out so much work. You have to put out so much content. You better make sure everything that you're doing is really good because it's very fickle. Hot today, gone and cold tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Eric says, but I think the morals are a little. Wait, is this part of something?
Morales, Spider-Man.
I think the morales are a little bit more complex with these types of scenes when that in horror movies generally, or just more rich story-wise, feels trashy to me. I think he's talking about, okay. See, when I watch that scene in Scream, I'm just uncomfortable. I agree, Patrick. I don't like those kind of things personally, although I suppose there's some hypocrisy in me saying this because I love similar types of scenes in non-horror movies.
But it's because she was fleshed out, like Patrick said. She cared about it really quickly. Whereas the other ones are just
She was
like,
literally fleshed out too.
Oh, puns.
At times, I want intelligent horror and suspense, and other times, I'm Art the Clown.
That's it.
It all depends on the mood, context. Drew Barrymore's Scream is one of the most unexpected kills in horror. Yeah.
I love Art the Clown.
But even the two girls in the first art, the Terrifier, I liked. You know what I mean? Like, I was actually sad to see them die. They were cool.
And
both of them were really cool, and you really liked them both, and you liked the crazy lady too, and it's like they're like okay, they showed the they showed the one scene where the girl gets cut in two, right?
Oh God!
And we're watching that, and it's like, okay, what made that scene, like watchable, and then I mean that in a very loosely term, but the fact is that we couldn't hear her, right? They kept their mouth shut. Like I think we watched that scene differently. I think we watched that scene a lot differently if she had not had her mouth taped. If we had actually heard her scream and pain and agony, I don't think that necessarily we'd be sitting here talking about Art the Clown in the same respect. I think it would have affected the movie a lot different way. And the other thing too, that that he killed the one girl, he shot her. Okay, that's great. That's what serial killers do. The part that really got me is when he came back there and he shot her in the face, 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, like 5 times.
It was totally unnecessary. It had nothing to do with the story at all. It was a very mean-spirited and disturbing. And you go like and actually it takes you out of the movie. It's like, wow, we can't really get behind this guy on any level. I mean, look at him. He's petty. He's spoiled. He's immature. He's just rotten. He's rotten anyway. But I mean, there's, when he's sitting in there, the first time we meet Art, there's not anybody sitting there watching Art when they first meet him that you don't go there and just like laugh at him because he's a clown.
Yeah.
But then you see him do what he's done, and all of a sudden it's like now you're getting taken out of the movie. Now you're getting taken out of the character. Now it's just going to become torture porn, and and that's a real thin line. And he pushed the filmmaker pushed it to the nth about that. I mean, I think he got away with it in the first one because he didn't let the girls. You didn't really hear them scream a lot, and like you would have if she wouldn't have been had her mouth covered.
Patrick,
I haven't seen the second one. I heard the second one's worse than the first one in terms of brutality.
the second one makes the first one look like a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but Lauren Lavera is the second one, Final Girl. She's so good. She's like one of my favorite.
Oh my. Guys, Brian left. His phone battery was about to die.
No.
Hey, bye-bye, man.
Got bit by a bat. His battery.
Talking about horror, he says, I mean, I'm all about the messed up tales of humanity when it's actually a compelling story, but generally horror stuff is pretty one note in his opinion.
It's like A Quiet Place.
A Quiet Place. Okay. We got Foxtail Cinematics here. He says, this is my first time here. I'll be back for more butthole talk.
Oh, jeez.
He missed A-hole last week.
Watch it on a replay.
We got Kal-El Bailey here as well. He says, what are you doing in a movie chat? Happy to have you guys here.
Hey.
But as for that, it's a lot of back and forth. So I think this is a good time to start wrapping things up with Patrick's very last, hold on. With Patrick's very last question for 7 questions with Patrick.
Meow. Meow.
Meow. Is classic.
Patrick, your last question of the night. Who would be your dream interview, living or non-living?
Wow. If I had to interview just one person.
You could choose zombie Freddie Mercury and have the best of both worlds.
Actually, the one person I would probably want to interview because I'd like to know why would probably be Adolf Hitler.
Oh my.
Really?
Yeah. Why the fuck did he do what he did?
It was springtime, Patrick. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Spring cleaning.
I mean, you always want to go, you always want to go to the instigator or against the worst crime in humanity, and you want to know why he did it. What really got him going that far? I mean, now if I wanted to talk on a lighter note, the person I like to talk to. Yeah. Hey, you know what? It's funny. Stalin actually killed, even more than Hitler did. Yeah. You can have those two guys go at it. But if I had to go pick a lighter one, I'd like to talk to. I would love to talk to Dina Meyer.
Okay.
I don't know who that is. Sorry, Patrick.
He's gonna say, sorry. No, I like talking. I wouldn't mind talking history. I think it would be, of course, I probably end up killing him afterwards, but at least I talked to him.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, there you
Good
go.
answers. Good answers.
Very interesting answers. I don't think that's what we were expecting, but that's
I know.
okay.
Oh, but yeah.
Like Walt Disney. He's straight in like Hitler. And we're just like,
Well, what about you guys? How about you? Who would you interview, living or dead?
Jeez.
Patrick from
mine's
Pat
easy.
Cheetah Review.
I was gonna choose him. You can't have him.
Then just Cheetah. Go for Cheetah. There you go.
Go for Cheetah.
Well, funny enough, mine's got to do with Cheers. I would choose everyone's frozen. Oh my god. Oh no.
What?
I'm alone.
Uh-oh.
In the abyss.
What?
Oh,
No,
everyone
we're not
froze.
frozen.
Oh, you're there.
Sorry, everyone froze. I thought I was alone. I was
Okay.
like, no.
We're okay.
So it's be really random. No, I would choose David Attenborough.
Okay.
Living. Just because that's how much has that guy seen? You know what I mean? Like I love animals, nature and stuff, and Yeah. So David Attenborough.
All right.
Yeah, I think for me it would have to be Lin-Manuel Miranda.
All right.
Nice.
I've always been such a fan. I've been such a fan of Lin-Manuel Miranda, and I feel in a way like we have so much like similar upbringing. Like he's my thing. Like he made me proud to be Puerto Rican.
I thought you were Asian.
No, believe it or not, man. Did my eyes give it away?
Yeah. Sorry.
Jeez.
It was your earlobes. That's why you're wearing headphones. No one must know my secret.
Lin-Manuel Miranda, man, he was a big reason of making me proud to like be Puerto Rican, and even aside from that, just seeing a Puerto Rican man have the type of success that he's gotten, and the fact that he's a proud Puerto Rican who's always flaunting it and getting that culture out there. And I love that about him, man. So I'd love to not even interview him, just talk with him, talk about our experiences, talk about like our favorite frituras and all that type of stuff. And I love it. I'd love to interview him.
I would watch that. I would actually pay membership to watch
Hey,
it.
there you go.
No, Patrick, don't go back on yourself.
$50 and I'll show my book.
Oh,
I mean,
it gets worse.
Wait a minute.
It gets worse.
Who wants to ask a question to Lin Miranda? Oh, I do. $50.
$50.
Free fitting.
What about you, Anthony?
Well, I think you guys know my answer to this.
Yes,
I
Rod
know.
Sterling.
Rod Sterling.
Yeah.
I am sadly predictable. Yeah, but that's who it would be. Although my second, you know who would be in second place? I'm a big Tupac fan, so it would be Tupac.
Oh, that's
Wow,
nice.
I'm
so
a huge
different.
Tupac fan. So yeah,
different.
two very different people, right? Very different generations. No, but with Rod Sterling, of course, because he came up at such interesting times, and I'm such a big geek and such a big fan of his work, and I'd love to just dig into that brilliant mind and see.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and thankfully we know a lot about his life and stuff like that. But yeah, to just know him, man, I think that would be incredible, and to be able to just sit and have a conversation, that would be awesome. So that would be my pick for this one.
Rod Sterling and Tupac together at the same time.
Even better. Yeah,
it's literally a Twilight Zone episode.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Rod Sterling would answer, and then Tupac would rap it to you.
Exactly. Oh my God, it'll be awesome.
Twilight Zone. Can you feel me?
Yes.
Dan.
I think I would go Steven Spielberg.
He's alive.
Yeah, alive.
Wait,
What have you done to
it's
him, Dan?
living or not.
What have you done to him?
So is Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I know.
And so is Tupac. He's in Cuba.
Nice.
Q-Bug.
Part of me wants
He's like the best. What a variety of answers. Jeez.
Quebec.
If he was in the Star Wars films, it'd be Chewbacca.
Oh my God.
And then he gets bitten by a bat, and Han Solo's got to shoot Chewbacca at the end of A New Hope.
Oh, no.
A new dope. Don't.
A new dope.
Yes. Guys, sign up for our membership if you want more of this.
No, $50.
The Popo strike back.
$50 more.
The Pope strike back.
Oh my God. All right. So good answers all around.
Interesting.
Let's get to ending this.
I don't even want it to end. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, but I've been great.
It has indeed. Now let's do this thing that I do. Oh my
God.
Wait, what happened? Why did it do that? There we go. Oh, am I freezing?
A little bit.
Okay.
It's okay though. Your background's still stunning.
Thank you. I like this one.
That's your favorite.
That's my favorite.
I like the little orange cat over your right shoulder.
Do you like Sphinx?
I know.
Yeah, they're fun. They're fun, but you always feel a little nervous about picking them up because you don't know how they feel because you're touching their skin,
They're oily. I heard they're oily.
and you have to make sure they stay warm. So you put them in sweaters and stuff like that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that makes. I mean, it obviously makes sense. So I'll start real quick because I'll be the quickest. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to end this show, and I would like to advertise the Cinema Squad channel that you're currently watching this on. So please go ahead and subscribe for exclusive content. You can also follow us on Instagram at the.cinema.squad.
Wow.
Thanks, sir.
That's not me. Who is this? Who's
Now when the thing says exclusive content, one thing you should be looking forward to is for season 2 of Off to the Races. We have started already, and you should be expecting the second episode, November's predictions for the Oscar categories, the above the line categories, coming out either tomorrow or Sunday.
Ooh.
Advertising that, so please keep a lookout.
Nice.
Keep a lookout, and that's all I will say, my friends, on my end. Now,
Your end. Your beehole.
my beehole. Now, I will give it to Patrick. What is this?
That's a great film. That's one of my favorite horrors.
Is it?
Yeah, it's great.
Who put it out?
I thought it was a book.
It was Netflix came out in 2019.
IFC Midnight.
That's right.
Patrick's favorite company.
I got really excited.
I had to sneak that in there after the A24 hashtag over there.
Let's save Patrick for last because you always save the best for last.
Thank you.
And the worst for first.
Dan. The worst for third. Dan, sell yourself, my man, for $50.
So
I give him 30.
Do I hear 20?
Give me 100. Gentleman in the orange.
$100.
$1.
Make it rain. Oh.
Make it rain on Dan.
Sorry, guys, got bit by a bat. Revenue went down.
So you can follow me on the Upside Down on YouTube and on Instagram. And I'm the 40X guy, so I try to cover most 40X experiences for whatever movies come to 40X. Wakanda Forever is in 40X now. I did see it in 40X. I just have not worked on a review yet, but I really like Wakanda Forever. Terrifier 2 is the last review I have up on my channel now, so go check that out. And I'm looking forward to continuing to be your 40X guy in the future.
Oh, snap.
It's really awkward because I thought you covered 4 dicks. I didn't know you meant dicks. I thought it was like 5 guys.
We got Mr. Anthony.
What's up, everybody?
$1,000.
That's 1,000. Jeez. Check me out, Fever Dreamland Theater. You guys know what I do by now. If you don't, then please go check it out. I mainly cover Twilight Zone episodes, 80s movies. I'm a big horror geek. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. If Twitter's still going to be around, I'm on there, but it's mainly just for promotional purposes. Instagram is probably the best place to find me. I tend to be on here a whole lot more. Or just pop by in the comment sections of my videos. At the moment, I have the Obsolete Man up on the channel, and I'm going to be putting up a new poll. It's free. You can just vote for whichever episode you might want me to review. I'm not charging. This is just
no membership.
How much does it cost to vote?
I don't even know how. I don't know how to work Patreon.
3 shekels.
So and as always, it's a pleasure talking with you guys. And again, Patrick, thank you very much for being here.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Hey.
8K
it's my turn.
himself.
Hi everyone, I'm Joe from Geeky Hijinks. You find me on Geeky Hijinks on YouTube. I cover everything from mainly horrors, so I do quick reviews, Shudder reviews. I do my gaming videos now. I play scary games and I crap myself when I play them. I do my weekly update videos where I show you other things I watch other than horrors because I've got a vast range of love for all kinds of cinema. So, but I mainly cover horror. So if you like a bit of badness and randomness and scariness, come down to geekyhijinks.com and Liberty Bank. We bring you the finest dollar. Now, come to the Geeky Hijinks. We'll have a good time.
Liberty, liberty.
No, I'm bid for me.
Liberty.
I wish there was an Oscar Mayer wiener. That's the part. I've got nothing else to say. Other little medleys. I'm trying to think now.
Do you have your wedding register? Do you have your wedding registry up yet?
Pardon? Am I dead?
Yeah. No, you have your wedding registry up yet?
A wedding registry, yes, I do. Everyone is like,
make sure you put that on the channel so people can do that.
I will. If you want to come down to my wedding in February, make sure you get there. Thank you, Patrick.
Pay me later.
I will. You're a naughty man. I like it.
We're gonna end it with the legend himself, Patrick.
Yeah, I just want to before I want to thank you guys all for having me for on here. I was a huge honor. Thank you guys all for coming out and supporting my channel and my show. All you guys have come out. I got to get Joe on the show, which I will be doing. Yes, and that will happen, Joe. I had a great time. I'd like to say a couple of shout outs to a couple of friends. My friend publicist Ruth Hill, thank you so much, and my publicist Krista Schreck. I'd like to thank her. Through those two ladies, I've gotten a lot of wonderful interviews. And for you guys, thank you for your friendship and your kindness and your generosity and doing this show. And looking forward to do something with you guys in the future.
That's
absolutely
been great, Patrick. Honestly, had a great time with you.
Yes.
Yep. You guys gotta come on over and visit us on the midnight.
All right, never mind Patrick then. Screw what he has to say.
No. I like to. We're looking to do more collaboration, so we would love very much to have the Cinema Squad visit the Midnight Society.
Yeah, man, that would be great. That would be great.
Crossover.
So, guys, that is our show, but it's not quite yet. Not quite yet. Patrick.
Yep.
I'm sure you know it, but if you don't, it is time for the 80s freeze frame. So I will play a little graphic.
Okay.
And while it's playing, do whatever pose you want to do. And when it comes back, we'll all be in that pose for a good 3 to 5 seconds. And that'll be our 80s freeze frame that we will screenshot.
Okay. Let me see if I can grab something here to make fun.
All right. Let me know when you're ready and I'll play the graphic.
Hey, no fair. He gets to use props.
Okay. Props.
We ready?
Yep.
What's going on? Hey,
there you go. I know you guys all like that.
Now we have evidence that Patrick loves 824.
That's right.
Set in stone.
Set in stone. We have physical evidence for that. Patrick, before we literally head off, I want to thank you for being on. It's an honor to have you on. You are one of the powerhouses in the YouTube community, man. Thank you for having us on your show, and we're happy that you accepted to be on ours. It was a fun time. It was a weird time. Buttholes.
So many buttholes.
So many buttholes.
A lot of dog deaths. And Hitler made his way in there as well. We had it all.
A true pleasure. A true pleasure, my friend. And I cannot wait to see you continue to succeed. And don't forget about the little guy. Big man.
Oh, my God.
Well,
yeah,
ladies,
one of these days, get up over 900. I'll be happy with that.
Hey.
well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for us. See you
Thank you.
next time.
Okay.